Hello. Welcome to the Fanfic Majesty. If you want more content, you can follow me on Patreon. I will be uploading more content on there that will be exclusive. The link is in the description. Please support me. 12 PC. Chapter 198 Mastermind Black Bergette. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. How could Champa know what kind of power Bergette was using on him now? The power of law. This is the invincible power in the true sense, the most essential power in this world. It's a pity that your plan fell through. Bergette turned around indifferently, his eyes fixed on Champa. Hum. Is it my turn finally? Champa sneered at himself, knowing in his heart what kind of fate he would usher in next. It's a pity that I didn't see Bergette beheading Fell with his own hands, otherwise he would definitely be happier than now minus. At the beginning, he fought against Lige in the prison Huo Xing, and was beaten to the point of death by the opponent, and was rescued by Fuji a little later. Although he was reduced to an experimental body, he was able to have such a strong fighting power after being resurrected. With his current combat strength, he has steadily surpassed Reg, and now, he has no regrets in his death. It seems that you are begging for death, so I will satisfy you. As a fellow clan, this is the last dignity I will give you, but unfortunately, you will not have the opportunity to continue to become stronger, otherwise I will look forward to meeting again in the future. At that time, you may really be worth my fight. Descending from the void, Bergette slowly landed in front of Champa. At this time, Champa, facing the arrival of Bergette, did not seem to panic at all. The evil aura on his body had completely dissipated, and the state of the fifth order mutant Super Saiyan had also disappeared, leaving only the normal state. Even at his peak, Bergette was no match for him. What's more, he was exhausted in normal state. That's really a pity. Hum. Hurry up, I'm just an embarrassed loser. The loser should bear the punishment he deserves, but he can lose in the hands of his fellow clan. I will die without any regrets. You will be the strongest Saiyan. Champa earnestly expresses the words in his heart. They have been chasing the name of the strongest Saiyan all their lives, and every battle is to make themselves stronger, and at the same time surpass everyone and become the strongest in the true sense. He is also Saiyan. Although he is a tyrant, he also has dreams in his heart. Now at the last moment of his life, he had to pin his last hope on Bergette. For a long time, he wanted to become the supreme being, above all things, so that nothing could restrain him anymore. Unfortunately, this dream could not become a reality after all. The strongest Saiyan. This is a bit interesting. Your dream, I will realize it for you, but, I will not only become the strongest Saiyan, I will eventually transcend the whole world, so, you can also die in peace. The voice fell, Bergette raised her hand, and a deep light appeared in her palm. In the next second, golden energy rays erupted suddenly, consuming Champa's body in an instant. When the light of the energy dissipated, everything turned to ashes, and no one knew what happened on this messy land. Champa, thus fell, at the hands of Bergette. After getting rid of Champa, Bergette returned to her normal state. Just as she was about to use her space jump ability to leave this world, a sudden mutation suddenly occurred. On the dark red sky, a crack was suddenly torn open, and then, 5 figures appeared in the void. All 5 of them, Bergette knew. They are the members of the Has team, and even Champa is one of the fighters. It is a pity that Champa has died in his hands. In the original book, they came to save the dying Champa. Now that Champa is dead, they don't know how they will end. Advertisement. It seems that we are late, that guy Champa has already died in the hands of this Saiyan, and Fu also escaped. The strange one-eyed Zamasu explained above the void. This may sound like sarcasm, but it is true. HMPH. That guy, he escaped very fast. It's a pity that guy didn't die. At least the energy collected by Huo Xing in this prison was not in vain. He contributed most of the energy to my plan. It's just a pity Champa. Such a good soldier. He just fell down so easily. 35 has said with a helpless smile, feeling deeply saddened by Champa's demise. But in fact, he laughed, because the huge energy brought by Champa and Bergette's battle almost filled his universe seed. Lord Has. It's him. But at this moment, Ragus, a survivor of the Glass clan, recognized Bergette. This man is exactly the same as the one who destroyed his own race. He is the devil who killed all his Glass clan. Hazy's eyes changed to Bergette after Ragus' reminder. As early as when he rescued Lagus, he swore for the other party that he would definitely help Lagus to complete the great cause of revenge. It's just that they haven't found Lagus' enemy for a long time. Could it be that the warrior in front of them is the real murderer who destroyed the Lagus people? It turns out that he is the real murderer who caused the destruction of the Glass family. Hazel's eyes narrowed slightly, and he also activated his mind-reading ability in an attempt to spy on Bergette's heart. However, what surprised him was that this infallible mind-reading ability had no effect on Bergette, and could not spy on this man's heart at all. What is this man sacred? I can't even peep into his heart. Hazy thought to himself, and at the same time felt extremely apprehensive about Bergette's existence. However, at this moment, Bergette, his attention fell on Lagus. The surviving member of the Glass family. The survivors of the genocide of the Glass race have been rigorously cultivated at an early age because of their precious abilities of vitrification and glass formation. Naturally, it also attracted the peeps of many foreigners. Back then, He used the law of reality to deduce what the parallel world experienced, and just saw the scene of the Glass clan being slaughtered by a person exactly like him. Now, seeing the Glass family again, Bergette's emotions fluctuated to a certain extent. However, he couldn't say anything, because this girl must have already recognized him. He was the devil who destroyed the Glass clan. However, the truth of the matter is, the Glass family was not destroyed by him, but someone else. At this moment, Ragus' emotions became very excited, almost condensed into substantial killing intent, and erupted in an instant. With her ability to display, the ability of the Glass clan also exploded in an instant. She wants to kill this bastard who has a revenge for the genocide with her own hands. Wait a minute, Ragus. Just when Ragus was being controlled by hatred, Hazy stopped her in time. Lord Haz. Ragus hesitated. Now that the enemy was in front of her, she could hardly control her emotions, she thought, and put Bergette right on the spot. Advertisement. Trust me. Haz gave Ragus an affirmative answer. Only then did Ragus' riotous mood gradually calm down. After Haz rescued her, he also gave her a promise. It's not that she won't avenge her, it's just that the time has not come. Ragus, your revenge, I will avenge you in the future, but not now. It is the most unwise choice to have a conflict with this guy now. Let's retreat first, Haz suggested. At this time, Zamasu, the fit behind several people, also had a thought, and brought out Supreme Kai's instant transmission ability, but in an instant, he took everyone out of the prison Huoxing that was about to explode. This scene was also seen by Bergette. Although there are many emotions brewing in his heart, now is not the time to explode, he still has very important things to do. With the ability to move the law of space with his mind, Bergette jumped into space and disappeared in the prison Huoxing. With everyone leaving, the prison Huoxing finally reached its limit. Boom. A loud noise. This is a special planet assembled from several different planets, which exploded in an instant, and turned into a cloud of smoke that dissipated at the junction of these different time and space. At the same time, located in a parallel time and space numbered 03002. In a base opened in a different dimension world. Fu cut through the space-time tunnel and appeared in this place. When he came to his laboratory, Fu immediately entered all the data collected on Huoxing in the prison into the supercomputer. Of course, our cooperation has never ended. As long as you don't betray me, what you want will naturally be given to you. Don't question the integrity of our fallen angel. After all, mortals will regret it, but angel will never. Black Bergette sneered. There is also a title, Fallen Angel Bergette. And he is a perfect existence that has assembled the values of the most powerful warriors in different parallel time and space. As long as Bergette's data is perfectly integrated into his body, he can complete the second evolution. You can also call it, Black Bergette. And Faye wants to get something from Black Bergette. My lord, are the cooperation conditions we reached earlier still valid now? Taking a deep breath, Fu finally chose to compromise, and repeatedly confirmed the cooperation conditions between them. The confrontation between the two sides lasted for 10 seconds. Advertisement. Fu looked at him unmoved. Black Bergette hopes to use the data collected by Fu to make her body reach a level beyond her deity. At this moment, Fu knew that if he didn't carry out Black Bergette's plan, it would not work. Call him the fallen angel Martino. Fu was busy collecting Bergette's data to create a near-perfect fighter. Bergette's initial acquisition of this body has not been able to achieve the true satisfaction. With flexible use, the two bosses started a new round. Cooperation to complete the new project. You finally escaped from prison Huoxing. I have to take a good look at it, and, I seem to have heard incredible news, you have collected all his data. That also means that the plan can begin. Black Bergette smiled grimly, looking at Fu with ridicule and threat in his eyes. Once Black Bergette has the idea of killing him, even if he can be hundreds of times stronger, it won't help. After getting the answer he wanted, he nodded thoughtfully, and after thinking it over, he still chose to agree. Not long ago, the two of them had hooked up. No one knows what this guy is thinking in his heart, and only he will understand what he is planning in the depths of his heart. Moreover, this time Fu is very confident. Once he completes fusion, he will be completely reborn and enter a new realm. The existence in front of him is the supreme fallen angel, and he is just the predecessor of the mere king of the dark demon world, and cannot be compared with such an existence at all. This person is also the culprit that led to the destruction of the Glass clan. This time, all the data about Bergette has really been collected, and now Fu, I don't know how excited I am. It seems that you have collected all the data of that mortal as you wish, then, I can also start my own plan. At this time, a cold and familiar voice came from behind Fu, which made Fu's heart tremble. Big. Sir. You. Why are you here? Cold sweat fell on his forehead, and Fu turned around tremblingly. What caught his eye was a man in a black martial arts uniform, who was exactly the same as Bergette, warrior. In his eyes, Bergette is a perfect fighter. Since that's the case, our action can begin. I also invite adults to go to my test bench. If you want to integrate this data into your body, I have to do it myself. Fu said with a serious expression, an extremely serious expression. Today, it's only a Bergette away. Well, only you can help me complete this perfect body. After it's done, I'll give you what you want. With a sudden change in attitude, Bergette chuckled lightly. For flowers. However, Black Bergette only smiled slightly, his scarlet eyes met Fa, and there was a faint smile on his face. But Fern is not stupid, he will make a good transformation for Hey Bergette, but in everything, there will always be a hand. Inject the completely collected data into Black Bergette's body. How did that man find out that his base was in this place? Finally completed, the strongest mortal, all the values of Bergette, then only need to input all this data into the body, as long as there is no rejection reaction, you can achieve a perfect body in the true sense. Clenched fists, there is an indescribable excitement in Faye's heart now. Chapter 199 Enemy Attack, The Crisis of the Sixth Universe. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. With the agreement of Black Bergette, this mysterious transformation plan officially began. The data collected by Fu, fallen angel's soul, Bergette's body. What kind of monsters can be born from the combination of the three? Is it beyond the deity, or is it inferior to the deity? With the explosion of Huo Xing in the prison, the farce seemed to be over. However, this is only a precursor, the real crisis, and now the real beginning. When the prison Huo Xing exploded and Champa could not be rescued, in Bergette's main time and space, multiple universes were invaded at the same time. Sixth universe. The two Zivers in the Has team started to make a scene, and they started to destroy the sixth universe. If it was the warriors of the sixth universe in the original book, it would definitely be turned upside down because of these two Ziffers. However, the current sixth universe is not the previous sixth universe. Not to mention the demon King Hill, who lives in the demon world and whose strength is no less than gods of destruction. The madman, Majin Oza and the super Namek Politan and Killer Hit, were enough to make these two Zivers drink a pot. Seeing the gap in hard power, the two Ziffers, Kameen and Olympic League, possessed the sisters Kalifla and Kair respectively. It is precisely because of their possession that Paradin and the demon Oza are unable to start. Because, these two women Saiyan, but Bergette's relatives, his family. Now, they can only contain the two Ziffers, and cannot use too much, 2020, power. Otherwise, if one accidentally destroys the body along with it, when Bergette comes back, they will definitely be blamed. But also because of this delay, this pair of Ziffer siblings were given a chance. They took this opportunity to regain two powerful bodies. Paradin and Majin Oza. One is a super Namek, and the other is a monster running the universe. Ha 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 ha. This power has nowhere to vent. This body is much stronger than the one just now, and the power I can exert is also stronger, it's great. Orion, who had controlled Paradin's body, roared excitedly. The majestic aura in the body was also fully released because of his explosion, but he was unable to liberate Paradin's true power after all. He didn't even show 1% of Paradin's combat power. Advertisement. After all, it is only a preliminary integration, and it does not give full play to the combat power of this body. Furthermore, as a super Namek, Paradin is not so easily controlled by him. My body is also very good, Orion, the ability to regenerate infinitely, and that almost endless energy. As Orion's older sister, Carmen, sneered and licked the corner of his mouth, showing a bloodthirsty smile. White lines appeared on the bodies of Politan and Oza at the same time, which meant that their bodies had been reduced to playthings controlled by the Zever. The two ace players of the sixth universe are controlled, which puts Hit, the killer, in a very embarrassing situation. It's a lie. These two guys will be controlled. Cold sweat fell on his forehead, and Hitter felt that something was wrong at this time. It is not a good thing for him that Paradin and Majin Oza are controlled. It is very difficult for him to deal with any one of them. Nothing is impossible. The legendary killer of the sixth universe, Hit, let me use this brand new body to meet you for a while. With a sneer, Orion, who had controlled Paradin's body, burst out of his body. The majestic energy, the pale aura surrounded the surface of the body, his aura was rising steadily, and the terror was comparable to a storm. Ha! The roars were endless, Olian stimulated all the energy that could be released, and the next second turned into an aurora and rushed towards Hyder. Intensive and fierce attacks poured down like raindrops in an instant. In the face of this fierce attack like a hurricane, Hit could only be forced to defend and wait for an opportunity in secret. The flash time skill has now been seen through, and he can't use it casually, otherwise, the guy in front of him will catch the flaw and kill him with one blow. Bang, pound, bang, pound, bang, pound, bang, pound, bang, pound, bang, pound, bang. The continuous explosion sound hovered in the space, and the shock wave visible to the naked eye swept away at an alarming speed. Aulien was silent in the attack. The fierce attack was as fierce as a gust of wind and rain, and the power of each attack was beyond imagination. This kind of feeling of venting his own violence was simply not too good. What a perfect body. This powerful force is exactly what I want. As he launched a violent attack, Olian called out loudly, as if he was venting his power that he had nowhere to release. Now, his mood has become unprecedentedly happy and comfortable. He was obsessed with releasing his power to attack Hit, but he didn't notice that Hyder's eyes suddenly turned cold. Immediately, Hit began to switch from defense to attack, and he launched a flash attack. While cleverly dodging to avoid Alien's onslaught, it was another fatal blow that directly hit Alien's throat. Nani. Olian, who was caught off guard by Hit's flash power. Pound. With a muffled sound, a purple light bloomed in Olian's throat. Aolian, who was hit hard, spewed acid water from his mouth, and his body turned into a cannonball and flew out 100 meters away. Boom. Crashed into Aolian in a pile of rubble, causing bursts of smoke. Aolian. Damn it. Seeing his younger brother suffer such a heavy blow, Kamine, who was Aolian's sister, was furious, and anger was brewing in his heart. She intends to avenge her brother. Advertisement. Controlling the body of Demon Oza, he exploded with extremely terrifying speed in an instant, turning into a streamer and appearing behind Hyder. The speed is so fast that it seems to happen in an instant. Hit, who had been aware of it for a long time, had a faint purple light all over his body, and the next second, the surrounding space seemed to be frozen. Has a huge fist mark. Hit, once again used the flash time skill, and in the case that Carmen could not be aware of it, it brought a devastating blow to his body. PFF'd. Kamine, who suffered a heavy blow, also spit out a mouthful of sour water, and the whole person turned into a cannonball and flew out. Speaking of which, the two Ziffers were also lucky. If it wasn't for the strength of the two bodies they controlled, the two attacks from Hit just now that landed on their bodies would be enough to kill them. Kill in an instant. At this moment, Hit also noticed something was wrong. The strength of these two guys, although they appear to be very strong on the surface, has not shown even 1%. Open black lens bracket I see. Close black lens bracket. Hit's heart suddenly felt clear, and in an instant, he understood everything. The seemingly powerful Kamine and Orion are just paper tigers. Whoa. Getting out of the rubble, Orion controlled Periton's body and looked at his hands with a confused expression. Why? How could this be? My strength is obviously much stronger than his, but why was he shot all of a sudden? This guy's body energy should be all stimulated by me. Why is this? 35 Olian was incompetent and furious, his anger was surging in his heart, and his fists were tightly clenched. He didn't understand what caused this. Gia ha 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 ha. With a burst of hysterical laughter resounding through the sky, Oza regained control of his body. Impossible. Wasn't he under my control too? Zifru Kamine struggled. After the parasite was driven out of his body, Periton moved his body, but the state was the state after his transformation. Nani. Impossible. You have already been controlled by me and you are sleeping. Olian was horrified, and this voice came from the original owner of this body, Politan. This clump of liquid is, impressively, Orin the Zivlu. So, Oza is the same, Hit muttered to himself, and those bright red eyes fell on the body of Zifru Kamine. It's no wonder that he can't control such an existence. Periton is much higher and stronger than him. How can such a powerhouse be controlled and driven by such a humble ant? She wants to forcibly regain control of this body, but she still cares about it after all. He was expelled directly from his body by Periton's overbearing dragon power. Advertisement. Ha 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 ha. You are just a humble parasite who wants to control this uncle. Stop daydreaming there. My uncle's body, how can you be such a rubbish? The goods can be driven. Don't hurry up and give it to me. Get out. A thunderous roar erupted from Periton's mouth. At this moment, Hit also came to him, looked at Periton, who had regained control of his body, and said, no wonder I felt a little different when I was fighting before, but the power that was obviously very powerful showed less than 1% of the power. Power. He didn't control you at all. Why? Do you want to control this uncle just because of your humble parasite? Don't be complacent there. At this moment, the body that should have been controlled by Orion, now came Politan's voice. Of course, I, Periton, the legendary super Namek person, can't be controlled so easily, and I'm not even worthy of the qualifications to carry me shoes just because of this kind of stuff, snorted coldly. With a bang, Periton's eyes flashed with confidence and Ling ran. The next second, his eyes fell on the other Ziver Kamine. In the next second, the terrifying aura turned into golden color, and like the light of dawn, it started from Periton's body. This terrifying power was much more sturdy than before. The power he masters is much more powerful than Hit, and it stands to reason that the time he can affect the flash will be shortened. At this moment, his body appeared more burly, and the green skin also turned yellow-brown. Oza, how long do you want to act? It's time to come out. I definitely don't believe that woman can really control you. Periton shouted when he saw Oza's slow response. Voice. But Hit was able to cope with his attack with ease. Not only that, but it also gave him a heavy blow. He has been parasitically controlled by his consciousness, and it stands to reason that Periton is still sleeping. The majestic dragon power spewed out from Periton's body, and the golden light of dawn penetrated the planet, shaking the entire sixth universe. This power. Impossible. Olian was horrified. He found that he couldn't control this body at will, and his body was about to be driven out. After I put out this damn garbage, I really feel different and more comfortable. Politan's face was full of enjoyment and comfort. Ah! In a shrill scream, a cloud of white liquid was discharged from the body by Periton. Now, his 10th dimensional formidable combat power is undoubtedly revealed. Olian, who had previously controlled Periton's body, seemed to have suffered a lot of damage when he was driven out. His body couldn't even maintain his human form, and he could only turn into a rotten ewe. Yo, Oza, it seems that you are in a good state of mind. Periton greeted the devil Oza in a mocking tone. She is nothing but a parasite created by the humble and inferior Zever. How could such a parasite be compared to the demon Oza of the sixth universe? Damn, miscalculation. This guy has such a powerful force in his body. Alian, who was seriously injured, felt extremely horrified, and he was even more jealous of Paradin. When he was controlling this body, he did not feel that the energy in this body was so terrifying. Carmen, who had sneaked into his body just now, was blasted out by domineering. A loud bang of boom. The voice fell, and Majin Oza really had a reaction. Boom. The majestic purple aura was liberated in Oza's body, and the surging energy was as earth-shattering as the erupting volcano. Chapter 200. What about the fit? One punch. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Hearing Paradin's mocking voice, the smile on the face of the devil Oza became more and more evil and gloomy. Gia 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 Gia. A strange laughter came from Oza's mouth, his strange and evil eyes turned and landed on the two lumps of mud. The evil smile on his face became more and more unscrupulous. Oza raised his hand, and a deep purple-red light gathered in his palm. Next second, woo, a purple energy bullet that was compressed to the extreme was released in his palm, carrying unimaginable destructive power, and attacked the Ziffer who was trying to control the two of them just now. Boom. With a loud noise, purple-red light bloomed on the ground. Kamin and Orion, the two Zivers were devoured by the aftermath of the explosion. Such a resolute fighting style is exactly in line with the character of Majin Oza. If you can kill the enemy in an instant, you will never be soft-hearted. Che, you're really fast. I originally planned to kill those two guys myself, but you took the lead, but it doesn't matter, this kind of ants, killing them is a. Paradin grinned, a look of indifference on his face. Only hit, the killer, remained calm and composed. His eyes were locked into the thick smoke of the explosion in the distance, preventing the occurrence of emergencies. The power of the attack from the demon Oza was terrifying, and it is reasonable to say that killing the two Ziffers would not be a problem at all. However, for some unknown reason, as a killer, his intuition was telling himself that this matter was not as simple as he thought. Uncle Paradin, where are those two people? At this moment, a weak voice came from behind Paradin. Immediately afterwards, two women Saiyan appeared in the sight of several people. Who are these two women Saiyan? Not Califra and Kaylee. After they were possessed, they were in a coma for a while, but fortunately it wasn't too long. 14 inches huh. It's the two of you who woke up, those two guys. Just when Politan's words were not finished, a sudden change occurred. Suddenly, an extremely huge breath emerged, and the incomparable momentum ran through the entire planet in an instant, shaking the sixth universe. Ahu! There was a hysterical roar from the center of the light. An incomparably sturdy and extremely deep aura soared in an instant, making everyone energized. How is it possible? His breath has increased so much. And the two strange breaths seem to have merged. Caulifla exclaimed, and with his perception, it was enough to judge that the aura was hundreds of times stronger than anyone she faced just now, either Carmen or Orion alone, even thousands of times. Sure enough, it wasn't eliminated so easily. This momentum is far more powerful than anything just now. 35 is the killer. Hyder frowned, his expression was serious, and he was very solemn. Sure enough, the killer's intuition was absolutely can't go wrong. Everyone was amazed, this was an accident within an accident. However, this force has not reached the level of anti-sky as thought, at best it is only the initial stage of the 9th dimension, and it has initially stabilized in a part of the unit of Rang. It's just that this level of combat power can easily crush it to death. Perhaps Hit and the Demon Oza are not good enough, but here, there is a legendary warrior on Namek. Advertisement. The legendary Super Namek Man Paladin. You, all die for me. Accompanied by a roar, from the central position of the light, a blast of energy compressed to the extreme hit several people. Everyone's face was solemn, and only Paradin didn't take it to heart. With a loud bang of pound, Paradin slapped the energy bullet into the sky with an understated slap. Boom. The fire-red light generated by the explosion occurred high in the sky, and the powerful shock wave formed by the liberation of energy crushed all matter into nothingness. In an understatement, this energy was sent flying, and Paradin didn't take it seriously, and didn't care at all. It can be said that after doing a trivial thing, there will be no feeling at all. Saiyan, Namek people, you rude fanatics, give me death. The irritable Kuo Heshung came out from the thick smoke. In the next second, countless air bombs blocked all the space, and attacked several people with a carpet-like bombardment. This is Vegeta's standard princely tactics. Anyone can use it. To deal with soldiers of the same level, perhaps this intensive tactics can play a role, but in front of Paradin, the anger does not have the slightest effect. The power of the dragon surged under his thoughts, the golden arrogance rhythm, raised his hand, and the golden barrier gathered in the palm of his hand, allowing these gas bombs to bombard continuously. In an instant, the fire was blazing into the sky, and the smoke was everywhere. When the intensive bombing ended, a strange evil smile appeared on Paradin's face. However, from the burst of light, a human-shaped cannonball rushed. Almost in an instant, the fight between Paradin and this wayward cannonball started. This person is Kamin Olian, the fusion of two Zever people. But even if the strength has been doubled, the fighting method has also changed, at best it is the same thing. All attacks were completely neutralized by Periton, and Periton's relaxed and careless expression made Kaminoleon even more angry. The attack continued, and the speed became faster and faster. At this moment, Kaminoleon's combat power was vividly displayed, and the style of play became even more fierce, but it was impossible to touch Politon's corner. After all, the gap between the combat power is too large. This kind of sturdy fighting power may be comparable to Periton under normal conditions, but when Periton liberated the dragon power in his body and used the legendary power of their Namek clan, this Kaminoleon was in front of him as fragile as an ant. The gap between the Rang and the ditch can be quite huge. A mere Kaminoleon is not qualified to let Periton display 1% of his combat power. Damn. All the attacks were missed. Kaminoleon felt very annoyed, and the anger in his heart kept growing. If eyes can kill, Periton, I don't know how many times he was killed by him. Humph. It's an honor for a low-level life like you to see my transformation. I thought that you would bring me different surprises after the fusion, but the truth is it's cruel. Let's end this boring battle. The two of you are really disappointing. As soon as the voice fell, Periton no longer concealed his fighting power, and his eyes became sharp in an instant. Almost in an instant, all of Kaminoleon's attacks were completely removed, and that powerful destructive blow penetrated directly into Kaminoleon's abdomen. Advertisement. A muffled sound of pound. The space trembled because of this terrifying power. Periton's powerful punch directly ripped open Kaminoleon's abdomen and penetrated his body. The power of this blow is so terrifying. It was precisely because of this heavy punch that was enough to destroy everything that Kaminoleon stopped moving. His eyes were sluggish, his breath dissipated, and his hands were even more tightly grasping Periton's sabi. The unbearable pain made his facial expression extremely distorted, ugly and unsightly. The gap is indescribably huge, and the fighting power of the two of them is extremely fragile, completely unable to compare with Periton. The 10th dimension, one hit kills the 9th dimension, this is the difference in absolute realm. By the time of his death, Kamino wouldn't even understand how big the gap was between them. Impossible. This kind of thing shouldn't happen. How could you be strong like this? The gap between us, how could it be so huge? Kaminoleon said with difficulty what was in his heart doubt. At this moment, he kindly felt the coming of death, and the god of death beckoned to him from a distance. Even though the body of the Zephyr has the ability to regenerate, the overbearing dragon power has completely isolated their repair ability. Moreover, looking at Periton's posture, he did not intend to let them go, but to kill them on the spot. A dying person, don't talk so much nonsense. The voice fell, and the evil smile on Periton's face became stronger. An ominous premonition suddenly appeared in Kaminoleon's heart. Periton slowly raised his other fist under his fearful gaze. A huge and powerful fist, carrying devastating power, smashed Kaminoleon's face ruthlessly. A loud bang of pound. Periton's fist, carrying the rich and profound dragon power, swung violently. That domineering dragon power, through Politon's fist, spread to the whole body of Kaminoleon. In the blink of an eye, it was instantly killed, and not even a single cell remained. What about the combination, and what about the incompatibility? The gap between strengths cannot be made up with a little trick. This world is a world where the strong eat the weak. If you want to blame it, you can only blame Kaminoleon for being too weak. This is also the main reason why he was killed by Periton in an instant. If he can be a little stronger and reach the level of Jiren in the Power Conference, or the level of Analaza, the integrated warrior of the third universe, perhaps Periton will have a hearty riot with him, and finally still on a par, evenly matched. Unfortunately, these are just illusions. Because of Periton's powerful destructive blow and the overbearing destructive power of the dragon's power, Kaminoleon's body was smashed into atomic particles and dissipated in the space. It's done. Clapping his hands, a smile appeared on Periton's face. Advertisement. Then the power of the dragon dissipated, and he returned to his normal state from the transformed state. The crisis on the 6th universe side is temporarily over. However, at the same time, other universes are also being persecuted and invaded by the 220 Haze team. Bergette here. After the explosion of Huoxing in the prison, Bergette jumped into space through the power of space law, and came to the 11th universe through the time-space tunnel. He just happened to encounter something interesting happened. In the 11th universe, the fusion of Haz's squad Zamasu turned out to have a fierce conflict with Jiren, the strongest warrior of the 11th universe. In terms of combat power, Jiren far surpassed the fit Zamasu. But the other party is a god after all, or an immortal body. So even if Jiren's strength is very strong, it may not be able to solve the fusion Zamasu in a short time. On the other hand, Haz quietly sat on the mountain and watched the tiger fight, waiting to reap the benefits of the fisherman. Bergette, who was hiding in the space, fixed her gaze on the huge seed of universe that Hazy was standing on. The energy needed by this thing will soon be full. This thing just happened to satisfy an item that he needed in the world of nothingness. Although he also has the seed of the universe is not fully mature. The seed of the universe given to him by the Grand Priest is the top grade among the seeds of the universe. What he needs is far more than energy. It's as simple as the power of God. Even, there is the function of devouring the same kind and devouring the seeds of other universes. Hazy's universe seed can be used as the nourishment for my universe tree. After this universe seed is fully charged, take it away, and only the last item is left. Close black lens bracket Bergette thought to herself. In his heart, he already had a plan of his own. Now just wait and see. On the battlefield, in the 11th universe, Jiren is basically the only one who can fight. Toppo, the captain of the proud team, was overwhelmed by Haz's own unique strength and was seriously injured, unable to even move. Although Jiren kept beating Zamasu with overwhelming combat power, he couldn't push him back. This guy was like a dog skin plaster, and he couldn't get rid of it no matter what. And Haz, very excited, waited for his seed of the universe to be full of energy. Come on, that's all right now. The moment when the energy of the seed of universe is full, is when I incarnate as the ultimate godslayer. Haz's mood is extremely excited, and now the energy of the seed of universe is full 9 out of 10. Only the last 10th left is the day when he turns into the ultimate godslayer. Lord Haz. At this time, Ragus, who had been hiding inside the seed of universe, suddenly communicated with Haz. Chapter 201 The experiment is over, the perfect body. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Huh, what's the matter, Lagus? Hearing Lagus call to God, Haz came back to his senses and communicated with him doubtfully. In the 6th universe, Kameen Orion has died, at the hands of the soldiers of the 6th universe. Ragus reported to Haz what happened in the 6th universe without any concealment. After learning of the death of Carmen and the Olympic League, Haz's facial expression did not change in the slightest. To him, Carmen and Orion were just two tools. The two ever were the tools of their drive from beginning to end. I just didn't expect that the value of the two of them would be drained so quickly. But it doesn't matter, the energy of the seed of universe will be full soon, and the ultimate godslayer will be born later. Hazy, how long are you going to watch the battle next to you? At this moment, the unbearable fit Zamasu roared at Hazy, who had been sitting on the mountain watching the tiger fight. He was angry, very angry. From the beginning to the end, he was fighting Jiren, this damn monster. This mortal, with his overwhelming fighting power, repeatedly trampled on his dignity as a god. Now, he is helpless and can only ask Haz assistance. Jiren, a mortal, has already made him go wild. If Hats continues to sit on the mountain and watch tigers fight, he doesn't recommend giving up this plan and no longer helping Hats to complete his plan for the seed of the universe. I know, really, don't worry. With a sneer, a sinister smile appeared on Haz's face. He knew what Xiao Juju was in Zamasu's heart, but he was not in a hurry. After all, the two of them have their own ghosts, and both have plans and goals that they must accomplish in their hearts. Suddenly, a good idea came to Hazy's mind. With a thought, a purple square appeared in his hand, and in an instant, this square was driven by his thoughts and wrapped the entire seed of universe. Wong. With the layers of ripples coming from the space, the infinitely enlarged seed of universe was compressed to the extreme and suspended in Haz's palm. Zamasu, haven't you always wanted the power of the seed of the universe? Now, I will give you this power. As soon as the voice fell, Haz drove the seed of the universe in his palm and shot it suddenly, go straight to Zamasu. A hint of doubt appeared on Zamasu's face. When he came back to his senses, the universe seed wrapped in the waves of gravity slammed into his chest and was firmly embedded in the inside his chest. The seed of universe fused with the body, and in an instant, a huge amount of energy began to fill Zamasu's body. Single quote exclamation mark single quote. Colorful rays of light emerged from Zamasu's body. In an instant, his body began to expand uncontrollably, and the injured left arm also resurfaced, and the purple-like mud reappeared. Advertisement. At the same time as his body continued to expand, his combat power also ushered in a dramatic improvement. His energy continued to rise, and his posture also changed from the original normal state to the mode of half-body collapse in the future world. This power. With a frown, Jiren raised his vigilance. He felt an unprecedented sense of crisis and tension from the mutant Zamasu. The strong aura of death made him very unhappy. This gloomy feeling is far more troublesome than any existence I have ever encountered. Zamasu, haven't you always wanted to use the seeds of the universe to improve your power? Dormant beside me in every possible way, just to get the seeds of the universe, now your wish achieving it, how does it feel? A cruel and evil smile appeared on 35 Haz's face. He is in a very happy mood now. The seed of universe has integrated into Zamasu's body. While strengthening his body, it has also released his potential, but it is still plundering Zamasu's vitality. He believed that as long as he could devour all the vitality of Zamasu, the last little part that the seed of the universe needed would also be perfected. Bebef. You dare to use me. Strangely, the fusion Zamasu did not lose his consciousness because of the seed of fusion universe, but just became more ferocious, huge and powerful like a beast, that's it. We are using each other, right? Your goal from the very beginning was my seed of the universe. Why, now I'm giving you the seed of the universe, and you are still a little unhappy. With a grin, Haz was leisurely. The attitude made the fit Zamasu very angry. Naturally, he knew what it meant to be part of the seed of the universe that was not yet fully matured. This thing will not only deprive him of his source power, but also turn his body into nutrients little by little. The current he looks strong is only temporary. This bastard, finally exposed his cruel ambitions at the last moment. You bastard. The fit Zamasu was just about to attack but Jiren seized the opportunity and smashed him with a force impact. Boom. With a loud noise, a deafening explosion occurred, and Zamasu's huge body was swallowed up by the billowing smoke from the explosion. Jiren, who launched the attack, did not dare to let up, and Zamasu, the undead body, would not be solved so easily by him. Sure enough, in the next second, as a violent storm of aura swept across the world seemed to be torn apart. Fit Zamasu showed himself in a twisted and hideous demon posture, and a slender rose-red sword was condensed on his intact arm. That sharp air blade bloomed with an extremely fast and ferocious offensive. Countless slashes attacked Jiren, but Jiren still seemed to be at ease and easy to deal with. It's just that this time is different from before, he no longer hides his strength, but shows his true skills to deal with the fit Zamasu. This guy, after absorbing the seed of universe, has swelled to a level that even he can't underestimate. Must be taken seriously. Located in the old lair of Fu. The plan for data entry is well underway. Advertisement. With the gradual progress of Fu's experiment, Bergette's body was continuously input data, and the data belonging to Bergette were all integrated into this stolen body. Fu cheered up and watched the numerical changes on the data panel all the time. This is the first human experiment, and all the data of the most primitive Bergette is input into this body. Progress is more than 50% complete. Since the body of the fallen angel Martinu was created by imitating Bergette's body, inputting the value of Bergette does not require too many protective measures and means. The real Black Bergette, you're almost done. Fusion has all the data of this deity. Under the influence of different souls, what kind of mutation will he have? After speaking, Fu's hands were rapidly operating on the console. He kept hitting every button on the console, putting Bergette's data accelerating full control into Black Bergette's body. This data transmission process lasted about 10 minutes. Fu stopped, took off his experimental glasses, put down all the tools in his hands one by one, and turned his eyes to Bergette. With the last minute before his wake time, he had buried something in this guy's body. It is used to ensure that one's life will not be taken away by the other party's awakening. Just when Fu was planning his next plan, Black Bergette, who should have woken up in a minute, actually woke up early. You don't think I'm unprepared, do you? From the beginning of the experiment, I've been in a state of awakening, and I haven't fallen into a deep sleep. You can't escape my eyes with the little movements you made in the dark. Don't say I'm not benevolent or righteous, it's you who violated the rules first. I didn't plan to do anything to you, but you want to kill me. Hide your emotions as much as possible to avoid being suspicious by the hacker Bergette. The seed of universe. Maybe gassed and the others need me to grab it. Sensing that something was wrong, Bergette's eyes fixed on the space in the void. It's no wonder Black Bergette sneered. As Bergette's eyes opened, a trace of surprise flashed in Fu's eyes, but he kept his emotions unchanged. Immediately afterwards, his hands were rapidly operating on the console, and the projected picture also changed. After a short period of activity, I found that there were no symptoms of discomfort. These deep and evil mists seem to be invisible, and the entire universe may not be able to find this thing, and it also has the ability to control the minds of others and affect the brains of others. Fury tried to explain, but Black Bergette ended his life immediately and decisively. Faye felt that something was wrong, and just wanted to explain aloud, but found that an invisible powerful force blocked his throat and lifted him up a little bit. Fu, if I guess correctly, you want to use this thing to influence my thinking and make me completely become your thug, am I right? Bergette sneered. The next second, one-handed with one grip, he squeezed the deep black energy to disperse it, and an icy cold light flashed in his eyes. Advertisement. In the end, he disappeared into this world with no bones left. If this is absorbed, although it will not have much impact, his thinking will probably change a little under Fu's suggestion. The progress of these fusion data is far more perfect than I thought. I can feel the obvious changes in my body. This is the strongest mortal, Bergette's real body. Black Bergette's constant experimentation. He looked at his brand new body. Hope, his hands and feet in the dark, hadn't been noticed by Black Bergette. The pain spread to the whole body, and a feeling of weakness and powerlessness came to my heart. The awakened Black Bergette ignored Fa, but got up from the test bed and checked his physical condition after landing. After dismissing Fu in an understatement, Bergette walked to Fu's console, and with a set of operations in his hand, broadcasted all the current battle situation in the 11th universe live. Hearing this, Bergette frowned, and the advanced moved his sentinel on the spot, and found that no matter what the indicators were, it was very perfect. Poor Fu, who couldn't even make a scream, was completely corroded by this eerie evil spirit. Although it was still his original body, this feeling gave him the illusion of being reborn. From the previous battle screen, all switched to the screen in the different space. Before, his energy was deposited in the body irregularly, but now it is different. The energy in the body is rotating regularly as if it has self-consciousness. My lord, Fu wanted to say something, but he felt that the force in his throat suddenly increased, which made it very difficult for him to even breathe. He only delivered this thing into Bergette's body after making sure everything was safe, but the guy in front of him not only had nothing at all, but also discovered this thing. In this different space, it is not as peaceful as imagined, but there is such an existence waiting for an opportunity in the dark, watching everything. Sir, data fusion has reached 100%, are you feeling unwell? Fu, with a dog-legged look, kept asking how Bergette was feeling now. After seeing this man, a crazy smile appeared on Bergette's face, and a strange emotion appeared in his eyes. I found you. Bergette. Hum hum hum. Ha 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 ha. The energy surge in the body is completely different from before. Nani. This thing. Fu's pupils shrank suddenly. These things should have been instilled long ago, how could they be discovered? You're awake, my lord. Fu said respectfully. As soon as his thoughts moved, evil energy continued to emerge, bit by bit corroding Fu's body. You're doing a good job, but you don't have any uncomfortable symptoms, but, these things, if I absorb them, I'm afraid it will become very troublesome. With a sneer, Bergette took out a black ball from behind. A fog. Chapter 202 Strong Erasure. Domineering. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The location of Bergette has been confirmed, which is good news for Black Bergette. He has achieved the perfect body. Next, it is time to test the results, whether it is the fallen angel's soul in the body of a mortal who is stronger, or the deity is stronger. To test this conjecture, Black Bergette took action. He wants to use this perfect body that contains all of Bergette's data to fight with the deity, and this will be his revenge battle. 11th Universe. On the battlefield. After absorbing the immature universe seed, Zamasu's energy has become more and more powerful, his actions are extremely fast, and his attacks are even more powerful and fierce. Even Jiren, who went all out, felt a lot of pressure, plus Zamasu's immortal body. For a time, Jiren couldn't start, and couldn't find a breakthrough point. But at this moment, Bergette, who was hiding in the dark, finally appeared. With a snap of his fingers, the power of the law of reality knocked back Zamasu's twisted form. With a loud bang of, boom, an attack from the void hit Zamasu's body, knocking him off thousands of meters away. Jiren, who noticed that someone was taking a shot, turned his eyes and looked towards the source of the attack. What caught his eye made him feel unbelievable. That guy is Bergette, champion of the power tournament. Bergette. Jiren was surprised by the appearance of Bergette, isn't the other party in the 6th universe. How can he suddenly appear in the 11th universe? Assisting Jiren to repel Zamasu, Bergette casts the law of space and jumps to Jiren's side. Long time no see, Jiren, Bergette greeted. You shouldn't be here. Jiren said meaningfully. I really shouldn't be in this place, but after the power conference, I was authorized by the Grand Priest to go to any universe, and I happened to encounter this scene when I passed the 11th universe. Bergette found a random one. Reasons to prevaricate the past. Humph. I don't need your help. That guy, I will kill it myself. With a cold snort, the arrogant Jiren obviously didn't want Bergette's assistance to solve this enemy and crisis. I know that with your strength, it is only a matter of time to kill that guy, but he is not so easy to kill because he is immortal. Besides, I am not here to help you, these guys I have what I need on my body, and I have to take it. Bergette's mouth twitched and she chuckled. The seed of universe in Zamasu's body was exactly what he needed. It's him. Hats recognized the moment Bergette appeared, this guy was the one on who Xing in prison. At the same time, the girl from the glass family, Laguz, also became violent, the revenge of the genocide welled up in her heart, and her gaze towards Bergette was filled with majestic killing intent. Advertisement. Lord has. He is the murderer who destroyed my clan. Ragus gritted his teeth and said word by word. Endless anger surged in his heart. If eyes could kill, Bergette had no idea how many times he had killed him. I know. But now is not the best chance to get out. The energy of the seed of universe will soon be full, and then I need Ragus to protect me, as long as I can take all the power of the seed of universe and to use it for yourself. It's not a problem to help you get revenge. It just so happens that Champa's life also needs to be paid for by this man. A burst of anger surged in Haz's heart, which was aimed at Bergette. Laguz is his subordinate, he promised Laguz to avenge her back then. Champa, who was also his partner, died at the hands of this man when the plan was not completed. Champa's blood debt, he had to make this guy repay no matter what. I see. Lord has. Ragus' voice gradually faded away. Below, the fit Zamasu, who was knocked out, steadied his body again tremblingly, his shape was twisted, and he was burning with anger, his almost mad eyes fixed on Bergette's body. It's you, a mortal who doesn't know whether to live or die, dare to attack God, this is your death penalty. Fit Zamasu's bright red eyes stared at Bergette who attacked him like the eyes of a demon. He hated Saiyan to the core. Back then, his plan was thwarted by these damn Saiyans. Now, after being reborn, he is still obstructed by these Saiyans, which makes him very unhappy. Now, having obtained the power of the seed of the universe, although it is not yet mature, Zamasu is confident that he can fill the seed of the universe and use this power for him. As long as he can fully control the power of the seed of universe, he can complete his ideal and create a world of his own ideal. However, Zamasu did not know what kind of terrifying existence he was facing with Bergette in front of him. This man is not just as simple as winning the championship of the power tournament, but with an incomparably sturdy fighting power, he is even comparable to the upper angel. HMPH. You say I'm a mortal who doesn't know how to live or die. In my opinion, you're just a noisy clown, don't be an eyesore here. Bergette didn't take the fit Zamasu into her eyes. What kind of rubbish do you really think you are? Even if he absorbs the seed of universe, his combat power is only the threshold of entering the 10th dimension and entering the realm of gods of destruction. How could such a trash like God know how strong he is? The current Bergette doesn't think it's as simple as being able to match the high-ranking angel alone. Even if Zeno's ability to destroy everything, he has a certain degree of certainty to block it. What are you talking about? Disrespectful person. How dare a humble human despise the gods? Do you really think that you will be invincible after killing Champa? In front of gods, your essence is still ants. The fit Zamasu was furious. His existence is the most distorted and evil species, and after absorbing the immature universe species, his heart has been greatly affected. He will never accept this result, and anyone who dares to ridicule him must die. The next second, his twisted arm condensed a blood-colored chi sword, locked in Bergette's position and slashed out. Boom. The overwhelming power brought by the terrifying air sword attacked Bergette like a storm. Beyond one's own strength. With a sneer in disdain, Bergette raised her hand, the power of the law of reality surged, instantly turning the attacking breath slash into nothingness, with nothing under her body. Advertisement. The law of reality, omnipotent, as long as Bergette's mind, everything will become reality. Come again. Take the move. Unwilling to fit Zamasu's hands close together, forming a posture of energy release, but in a blink of an eye, the power of the terrifying law poured out like a wave. That's right. He has the power of the law. And it is still the power of its own extreme laws. This power is called the law of judgment. It is the judgment power that Zamasu possesses after the fusion. In terms of rank, he was no less than gods of destruction, but in terms of strength, he was still far from the strongest gods of destruction. However, this light of judgment was completely erased by Bergette's understatement. Although the law of judgment is powerful, it is still too far behind in the face of the law of reality. Nani. The light of judgment was completely dispersed, and Zamasu's face showed shock and fear. For a long time, the power of his judgment law has not been suppressed, but this time, it was destroyed by a comprehensive crushing. There's no suspense, and it represents the ineffable gap between him and Bergette. He thinks he is so amazing, how sacred and powerful, but in the final analysis, for the real powerhouse, he is just an ant. In his shocked gaze, Bergette aimed her hand at him in the air. Fit Zamasu. 35 feet. In an instant, a deadly sense of crisis emerged, causing Zamasu's body to twitch, his pupils shrunk, and he sensed the breath of death. Blind rubbish, disappear for me. The voice fell, and the power of Bergette's law of reality surged. Swap the real world with whatever he has in mind. Modify everything, destroy everything. Katakana middle dot katakana middle dot katakana middle dot katakana middle dot seeking flowers katakana middle dot katakana middle dot. In the face of Ragus' attack, Bergette did not dodge or dodge, and the power of the law of reality was so tyrannical that it annihilated it all into nothingness. Moreover, the fit Zamasu itself is not weak, coupled with the enhancement of the seed of universe and the blessing of the immortal body, this guy is simply more sticky than the dog's skin plaster. Solving these unsightly attacks, Bergette looked at the mysterious girl in the sky who could manipulate glass. The voice fell, and several huge glass crystals suddenly appeared in the void, showing a strange shape. Point 0. If it was him, would he be able to wipe out the combined Zamasu into scum as cleanly as Bergette did? Apparently it's not possible. At the center of it was the glass girl Ragus. Advertisement. This is the only one left alive by the Glass clan after experiencing that guy's brutal bloodbath. He couldn't stop his body from collapsing constantly. To outsiders, it seemed as if it had been disintegrated by something. From head to toe, nothing was left. Although he is powerful, he has also touched a part of the power of the law, but compared with Bergette, there is only a long way to go. The distance between them is indescribably huge. Now, they not only have the ability to fulfill their ideals, but also have the ability to take revenge. Looking at the seed of universe that exudes colorful rays of light and possesses boundless vitality in the palm of his hand, a smile appeared on Hazy's face. This power shocked everyone. A trace of fear appeared in his eyes. As long as the seed of universe is fully charged, it will be her time of revenge. Invisibly, the power of the law of reality destroyed Zamasu's body, causing him to cry out in pain. First, the undead body that was given by Super Shenron was deprived of Zamasu, and finally his soul was separated from Son Goku's body, and finally Zamasu was completely wiped out. I see, Lord Haz. Ragus, who appeared, set his eyes on the seed of universe in Haz's palm that was full of energy. And Haz saw the fusion Zamasu was killed after seeing. The night of the genocide. I was rescued by Lord Haz. But I also saw the face of the monster that slaughtered my clan. Do you think it's useful to pretend to be stupid here? Ragus killing her intentions were extremely fierce, and she locked Bergette. She, today, will not kill Bergette. I can't help those who died in her glass family. Because, the energy of this seed of universe is finally full. With the release of the glass's ability, countless sharp silver needles formed by glass attacked and killed Bergette. In the next second, a layer of emerald green light appeared in his palm, and as his thoughts surged, this emerald green light contained the seed of universe hidden in Zamasu's collapsed body. She has been waiting for this moment. Over the years, because of this thing, they have traveled through many different parallel universes. The purpose is to collect the abilities that the seeds of universe need. Now, only revenge is what Ragus has in mind. Lord Has, don't worry about fusion, I will protect you to the death. As he spoke, a fierce killing intent flashed in Ragus' eyes, which was aimed at Bergette. Although a lot of people died, I have finally completed the task of collecting energy. My ideal is just around the corner. After a few words in his heart, Has closed his eyes and raised his head after pondering for a while. Come, point to the sky and call. The energy of the seed of universe has been collected. Ragus, your chance for revenge has come. Now, I need your help. Now, the energy is finally collected. Come on, help me, the power of the seed of the fusion universe. As he said, Has exerted his strange ability, and countless gravity cubes began to pour towards his position, and finally matched his body perfectly. The fusion of the universe and himself devoured the seed of the universe. Is this your ability? The legendary Glass Clan, I can feel your hatred for me. One thing I have to say is that the person who killed your Glass Clan is not me, but someone else. Bergette, instead of attacking Ragus, he was persuading him. Jiren beside him was shocked by Bergette's terrifying means. Kill this bastard who wiped out the Glass family. Chapter 203, The Birth of the Ultimate God Killer. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. It doesn't matter how much you say, what you think is always what you think, so I won't explain too much. Bergette didn't want to waste time on Lagus. This girl is also pitiful. While being deceived by Has, her race was slaughtered by an unknown guy, and now she is helpless to target herself. If Bergette hadn't happened to see the cruel deeds experienced by the Glass family, he would have shot Lagus. He didn't suppress her directly, this was his last kindness to her. You, court death. Seeing Bergette make a move, Lagus immediately launched an offensive. Her body glowed with emerald green light, and in the next second, countless spikes formed of dense glass with special qualities attacked from all directions. Countless pieces of glass, blocking all escapable spaces, attacked Bergette's body. But just as he was about to pierce Bergette's flesh and blood, a strange scene happened, and the whole world seemed to become illusory. Those sharp blades that were about to pierce into Bergette's flesh and blood were all turned into nothingness and dissipated in the real world. This scene caused Ragus' pupils to shrink sharply, and the emotion of fear emerged from his heart. Bergette, I don't know when, has come to her. Could it be that I have ended here? Almost instantly, the fear in his heart was magnified infinitely, and Lagus even subconsciously thought that he was about to die. Her fate will be the same as those of his last clansmen, all reduced to corpses. She even closed her eyes in despair, waiting for Bergette to take her life. 2020. But, the sting and death that I imagined did not come. Ragus opened his eyes in confusion, only to find that Bergette just bypassed her and didn't shoot at her. Bergette's attention was always on Has. Now Has, after fully absorbing the energy of the seed of universe, the combat power value has ushered in a dramatic increase. The power of the seed of universe, coupled with the power of a special law that he masters, just happens to be a perfect fusion, forming a qualitative change. Bergette thought to herself in her heart. At the same time, in his sight, Has's combat power value has broken through the 10th dimension, officially entering the 11th dimension. Not only that, Bergette could also see the strange law power, what kind of law power it was. The law of gravity. Advertisement. The gravity in charge of everything in the world can compress space and block others at will. Mastering this kind of supergravity is basically equivalent to invincibility. At this moment, the fusion of Has and the seed of universe has also come to an end. Boom. The boundless golden brilliance was liberated in the huge gravity block. The terrifying breath turned into a gust of wind and waves, as if it could subvert everything in the world. An incomparably deep and frightening aura ran through the entire 11th universe. The incomparably powerful aura shakes the entire planet, but the coercion it brings invisibly is enough to rival millions of times of supergravity. Has it become so much stronger? Jiren couldn't help gnashing his teeth, and he felt incredible when he felt Has's unimaginable power. This power, even if it is stronger than himself, would have to take a lot of effort to take it down. After fusion of the seed of universe, the energy has indeed increased a lot. But, is that your limit? Bergette doesn't care about the current hearts at all. Such has posed no threat to him at all. The power of the 11th dimension level is not worth mentioning in his eyes. On the contrary, after absorbing this mysterious energy, Super Hazy's posture and breath resembled an evil dragon. Finally done. I have gone through countless hardships, traveling through countless parallel worlds to collect a lot of energy, just for this moment. Has. No, it should be called Super Has now. He opened his arms and enjoyed the moment very much. The sacred golden aura continuously spewed out from his body, and the surging fighting power rhythmically rhythmized in his body. All the breaths were contained in the body. Hazy calmed down, a faint smile appeared on his face, and his eyes fell on Bergette, who was constantly approaching him. This man's strength is beyond imagination. He had heard from other parallel universes that in a certain parallel world, an unprecedented super strong mortal was born, and his strength was strong enough to kill a fallen angel. This person, even known as the strongest mortal, is of the same kind as him. Moreover, he also saw Champa's death. After Fu's transformation, Champa, who was transformed into the fifth order mutant Super Saiyan, was easily killed by the man in front of him. Even Zamasu, who had devoured the half-finished universe seed, whose strength had soared, and possessed an immortal body, died at the hands of this man. He's powerful enough to have devoured the seed of universe, but he's not so arrogant that he thinks he can beat Bergette easily. The opponent's strength, like him, surpassed gods of destruction and reached a level comparable to Angel. What an incredible guy. I have crossed history, crossed time and space, traveled through countless parallel worlds, and met many strong people, but they are not as good as you. Super has looked arrogant and supreme. Looked at Bergette like a god came into the world. If he hadn't devoured the seed of the universe, he might still be afraid of Bergette's unimaginable power, but now it's different. After having devoured the seed of the universe, he thinks that he has surpassed gods of destruction, and even surpassed gods of destruction. After the Grand Priest and Angel, he reached the level of being equal to the supreme god of this world, Zeno. Advertisement. The incessant energy in his body, as deep and boundless as the universe, gave him an illusion of being able to conquer everything. Defeating Zeno, defeating Grand Priest, the illusion of omnipotence. If Bergette had the ability to read the hearts of others, she would have been amused by the idea of hearts. As far as the combat power of the 11th Yuanjian level is concerned, do you dare to say that you can surpass Zeno and surpass Grand Priest? Stupid dream. Just after the power conference was over, those who came to trouble Bergette were stronger than the Super has in front of him. First, the masked Black Goku, who has the power beyond the deity, Super Saiyan Pink Third Order Boundary Breakthrough. The combat power is no less than the surrounding Super has, even stronger. Later, it was Reg of the 6th rank of Super Saiyan. The overwhelming power makes people feel hopeless from the bottom of their hearts. Saiyan's bloodline is at its peak, and his fighting power even exceeds the 12th dimension. He has initially entered the 13th dimension, and he can crush Has at the click of a finger. Die. Furthermore, it is Saiyan Champa, the evil man whose strength has become unimaginable after the transformation experiment on Huo Xing in prison. The power displayed by the 5th order variant of Super Saiyan alone is full of the 12th dimension, far more terrifying than the Super Hars in front of him. I really don't know where this guy got the confidence that Bergette would be suppressed by him. There is no need to say compliments. I don't want to continue talking nonsense with you. If you want to fight, then let's fight. With that, Bergette showed an incomparable aura. Space. Feeling the change in Bergette's breath, Super Hazel glared. Hehehehe. Being able to kill Champa is enough to prove your strength, but don't compare me with the opponents you killed, I'm different from them. The me who absorbed the seeds of the universe. You are the ultimate godslayer. Exclamation mark. Although Ragus told me that you are the one who slaughtered the Glass family, but my intuition tells me that you are not, the guy who slaughtered the Glass family, claiming to be supreme. But you have never claimed to be so. I have a great proposal. Even if we fight, we will only fight one and lose both. No matter how strong you are, you can't kill me. Why don't you and I how about joining forces to overthrow Zeno's rule? Exclamation mark. You and I alone can defeat all gods easily, as long as you join hands with me, the structure of the perfect world is in sight. How? You and me join hands and create a world that belongs to us humans. Not controlled by the gods. Not enslaved. Only a free world. Super has said the words in his heart. It can be seen how much his ambition is huge. This guy is a total lunatic and a frog in the well. In this state, still having this kind of daydreaming is really a hopeless idiot. Zeno and Grand Priest, how could a humble ant like you be shaken? To be honest, your ideals and aspirations are great. It's a pity that I'm not interested. I'm not interested in any kind of human freedom. The only thing I'm interested in now is the seed of the universe in you. Right now, I just want to deprive you of the seed of the universe. There is a lot of irony in Bergette's words. When he heard that the other party's real purpose was his own universe seed, Haz's eyes became sharp and cold. The seed of universe is everything he has, and it has now been completely integrated into his body. If you want to get rid of it, there is only one way to kill him. Since we can't talk about it, we are the mortal enemy. It's a pity. If we can't join forces, then we are enemies, or I'll take revenge for Ragus by the way. After the voice fell, Super has raised his hand and attacked Bergette first. Bergette's power has threatened him. If such an existence cannot be good, it can only be evil. Advertisement. Exactly. Let the other party test to see where is the strength of the body that he has mastered now. Single quote exclamation mark single quote. The law of gravity was mobilized by Hats, and a deep purple light emerged in an instant. Countless gravity blocks appeared, not only breaking through the blockade of Bergette's reality laws, but also blocking Bergette's body. The law of gravity. It's a good strength. It's a pity that the training is still not enough. Bergette was blocked by the countless gravity blocks, but he remained calm and didn't care. Although his body has become very heavy now, it is not a big problem. If he wants to, he can escape from this cage of gravity with a single thought. In the next second, Bergette's thoughts moved, and the majestic blue divine power continuously spewed out of his body. His body was also swallowed up by this majestic divine power in an instant, wrapped, and in an instant, his aura rose steadily. Such scenes made the fear and solemnity on Super Haz's face deeper. He has already entered this posture, which is supposed to temporarily restrain Bergette due to the law of gravity released by him comprehensively, but he never imagined that this thing would have no effect on Bergette at all. Your strength is indeed amazing, but if you think that I only have this ability, it would be a big mistake. As the voice fell, Has grasped the palm of his hand, and the light of the law of gravity surrounded his palm, and at the same time the facial expression also became hideous. Under my gravity, disappear 1.5. With a roar, the law of gravity was released again. The gravity block that wrapped Bergette's body was constantly shrinking at this moment, as if to completely obliterate Bergette. These methods are very similar to the scene in the original book where he forcibly erased a single cell from the fusion Zamasu. This ability can have an unexpected suppressive effect on a powerhouse of the same level or a powerhouse weaker than him. However, in the face of a top powerhouse like Bergette, it may not have such an effect. The difference in combat power between them is not as simple as one dimension. Do you really think that with this mere power of ants, you can wipe me out? Stop being delusional. The cold words fell, and Bergette instantly transformed into a full power state of Super Saiyan Blue. The normal 10,000-fold increase in combat power also instantly raised his combat power to the level of the 11th dimension, a full 1,000 streams. In an instant, Super Haz's gravity blockade was defeated, and the overwhelming power of the gods was completely different from the previous momentum, making Super Haz difficult. This power is very powerful, not even inferior to him now. However, that doesn't mean it can't be dealt with. Is this your power? God's breath. I didn't expect a man known as surpassing the gods to use the power of a mere god. No wonder you rejected me from the beginning, because there is no such thing as a relationship between us. There is no need for cooperation, you with the power of God are destined to be my enemy. Super Haz said with a heavy face. Chapter 204 Deep Blue Evolution vs Ultimate God Killer. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. You self-righteous fellow, do you really think that the human beings in this world need your rescue? Don't take yourself too seriously, you bastard. As he spoke, Bergette continued to explode his power, with a dark blue light in his eyes. Emerge. Drink. With a sullen voice, the dark blue light surged from Bergette's body like a gust of wind and waves, and he mobilized the energy pool of Super Saiyan's dark blue evolution in his body. In an instant, the majestic energy of Super Saiyan's dark blue evolution was activated by him, but in a blink of an eye, the blue aura around his body transformed from a breath state to a jet state, and the color of the hair became darker and darker. Standing up, the body has grown a lot because of the power of this transformed god. The evolution of Super Saiyan Dark Blue has improved the strength and purity of the power of God. Although the superficially improved combat power value is only 50 times that of Super Saiyan Blue, in real battle, you will feel that the difference is far more than 50 times. Times as simple as that. What an amazing power. You guy is more tricky than I thought. With his teeth clenched, cold sweat appeared on Super Hazy's face, and his heart was even more shocked. Now Bergette's overwhelming combat effectiveness data, even he is amazed, dare not act rashly. In particular, this bottomless power of God was something he had never seen before. Even though he had fought against so many strong men, he never imagined that one day, he would feel the fear like he did today, and he has always been terrified of him. The power of the disgusted god is terrified. It's so disappointing if you have this level, Hazy. Bergette stood in the void, the divine light radiating from him, making him look like an invincible god. At this moment, Bergette, the combat power value has crossed the realm of the 11th dimension, and has officially entered the 12th dimension. Located below, Jiren, who was acting as a bystander, was even more shocked in his heart 14, and there was a strong look of surprise in his eyes. Back in the power tournament, Bergette's Super Saiyan Deep Blue evolution was nowhere near as strong as it is now. But, how long has it been since the power contest? Bergette's combat power has risen to such a terrifying level. This power is even more terrifying than the original Super Saiyan Blue third order boundary breakthrough. Open black lens bracket unconsciously, the gap between us has been pulled so big, close black lens bracket. Jiren muttered to himself. At the same time, he also clenched his fists unwillingly. This height, one day, I will reach it. On the battlefield. The ultimate Godslayer Super Haz and Super Saiyan Dark Blue Evolution Bergette looked at each other, and the two sides were in an invisible confrontation. It's a very powerful force. It's more difficult than I expected, and it's difficult to deal with. No wonder, Champa will die in your hands. This kind of combat power, even if the 12 gods of destruction join forces, it may not be possible. It's your opponent. Among the powerhouses I know, you can barely rank in the top 10. Super Haz's expression was solemn, and his words no longer had the contempt he used to have. At the beginning, all he knew was that even Champa was dead at Bergette's hands. But now, it was he who faced Bergette himself, the overwhelming power he had seen with his own eyes. Fortunately, he absorbed the seed of universe, and the energy in his body was comparable to that of the entire universe. Now, as the ultimate god killer, he has infinite possibilities. Is it only in the top 10? It seems that you still underestimate me, but it's nothing. Soon I will let you understand that my strength is far from what you can touch and recognize. Raise Super Haze, Bergette said with an indifferent expression. For this guy who has absorbed the seed of universe, Bergette really wants to test the realm of his strength. Although through his own ability, he can see that Super Haz's apparent combat power value has reached 4000 gully. However, this is only the data on the surface of Zishui, and it is so powerful that they have mastered the power of the law. Advertisement. Basically, there is not much difference between the combat power values. Moreover, looking at Super Haz's fearless appearance, it can be seen that this guy must have hidden some kind of trump card that he has not used yet. His true combat power is far more powerful than what he has seen now. However, no matter how strong he is not qualified to let Bergette take out the final transformation of Super Saiyan Evil Ego Sublimation to deal with it. Bergette of the 6th universe, then again, the 2 little guys I sent to the 6th universe should have died in the hands of your partner, and even Zamasu died in your hands. Speaking of which, I have to thank you. If you didn't get rid of Zamasu, the energy of my universe seed may not be able to be filled so quickly. In return, I will kill you with the strongest power, and I will let you understand how fragile the power you are using is in front of me. As he spoke, Super Haz mobilized the pounds in his body. A boundless sea of energy. Layers of hurricanes turned into huge waves and swept away, and the violent aura impact and lightning kept spurring the planet below him. A terrifying coercion descended on the world, making Jiren, who was watching the battle below, feel terrified. The instinct of his body told him that the 2 warriors in front of him were far beyond his realm. Open black lens bracket unconsciously. Have I been eliminated? The gap in strength has been pulled so big. Damn. Close black lens bracket. Jiren resented injustice in his heart. Now he is really angry. As the strongest fighter in the 11th universe, he was a fighter who could compete with Bergette in the power ring not long ago. But now, he feels that he has been eliminated, and the distance between him and Bergette is also being drawn further and further. At the same time, with the liberation of Super Haz's momentum, his combat power is also rising rapidly. Boom. The aura storm became more and more infiltrating. Combat data 5000 streams. Combat data 7000 streams. Combat data 8000 streams. Combat data 9000 streams. Combat data 1 positive. Combat data 3 positive. In the end, the combat power data of Super Haz also stabilized at the 12th dimension, and stayed at the level of 3 positive. Proper fighting power of the 12th element. This seems to have reached his limit. Do not. This guy is still hiding something, and until now, he has not shown his real combat power. You must know that the energy level of the seed of universe is far more than what it is now. A small seed contains a majestic energy comparable to a whole universe. The energy that Super Haz liberates now is only a part of the energy of the seed of universe. Advertisement. Maybe. There is another possibility. Although Hazy absorbed the seed of universe on the surface and controlled the enormous energy of seed of universe, he could not rent 100% of the control. If it were all released, his body would not be able to bear it, and he would explode and die. You still don't want to show 100% of your fighting power. You have such a big heart. If that's the case, don't blame me for being rude. A dark blue streamer flashed in his eyes. One wave. The power of space law is activated, and all the space around Super Haz is completely blocked. Immediately after, the power of the law of reality worked, and tiny black holes appeared in the space in all directions. Then, countless energies shot out from the black holes, locking on Super Haz's body and launching a super bombing. Boom. The peak of energy exploded, locking on every corner of Super Haz's body, launching a continuous terrifying bombardment. The scorching fire, visible to the naked eye, was overwhelming. However, the Super Haz at the center of the explosion was not harmed in the slightest. When he moved to the first place, he used the power of the law in time to protect his body. The power of the law of gravity operates, and countless large and small dark purple squares spread all over his body, wrapping his body comprehensively, forming an indestructible defense. The heavy gravity block formed an invincible defense around Haz. No matter how strong the explosion was, it couldn't hurt him in the slightest. The power that can block space, you are really amazing, but the gravity I have mastered has reached the level that even space can crush it. Super gravity spread. The majestic gravitational energy condensed into endless gravitational blocks and shot out towards the surrounding space. Under the pulling of his powerful force, the countless gravity blocks completely broke through the surrounding space blockade. The glass shards scattered in the sky. Super Hazy smiled evilly, and stayed in the void. The law of gravity has been developed to the extreme by this guy, and it has also been used to the extreme by this guy, which shows that its strength is extraordinary. However, the power of the law of gravity can make him stand in an invincible position. Boom. The deafening roar spread all over the space, and the shock wave visible to the naked eye quickly swept away. The terrifying power exploded in an instant, blasting away the fist of gravity in Super Haz's incredible gaze, and it slammed into Super Haz's chest with boundless destructive power. This guy is different from any enemy he has faced before, perhaps his strength is slightly inferior to Reg and Champa. Take it. Bergette didn't hesitate, throwing the Zeon punch and hitting Super Haz in the face. What's wrong? You seem surprised. Super Haz teased. There was a terrifying explosion sound like a dull thunder from the space, and in an instant, the world changed, the space swayed, and the entire universe was affected. It can be seen that the masters of these two strongest attacks have reached the realm of strength. As strong as him, he could only barely resist the scouring of these two forces without being overturned. Advertisement. In an instant, Super Haz's complexion changed dramatically, blood spurted out of his mouth and nose uncontrollably, and his body turned into a meteor that broke through the atmosphere and shot straight down toward the ground. Whether it's Bergette or Super Haze, they are now bringing out their 12th level combat power at this moment. As long as it is within his combat range, he is the strongest. Haha. A wicked arc appeared on his face, and Bergette's eyes narrowed. Let me see, whose fist is harder? Gravity Fist. With an angry shout, Super Haz also swung his strongest blow. It's very good. It's just this power. How long can you maintain it? The hideous-looking Haz further expanded the mysterious energy that the universe seed in his body could release, and used it to bless his own law of gravity. The tyranny of the law is also vividly displayed by the two. This guy doesn't have too many nirvanas, but he has exercised his power of law to the extreme. In the field of gravity that he is good at, he has reached an unparalleled height. Boom. After a second of pause, in Hatz's perception, Bergette's power seemed to be suddenly magnified dozens of times, hundreds of times. Ong. The dark blue flame collided with the purple particle breath. A dark blue flame bloomed above the fist, and the condensed power and destructive power seemed to be able to shatter space. Incredible. Bergette was pinned down. Pole. The law of gravity. It's not bad, but I don't know if this unrivaled gravity can crush my fist. With a sneer, Bergette clenched her right fist, and in an instant, the deep divine power was affected by him. The mobilization began to expand and brew continuously. Telephone. The two fists stalemate in the void. The influence of the power of the two spreads to the entire 11th wrinkle, and the terrifying coercion emanating from the invisible makes Jiren, who is a melon eater, feeling extremely troubled. With the purple light on his fist, his terrifying law of gravity overwhelmed Bergette's fist. The law of gravity turned into countless small gravity particles that converged on his fist, the purple light and gravity brewing invisibly, and even more ripples appeared in the space. Worded out. The law of reality, for him. The violent and terrifying power erupted in an instant, and the overwhelming coercion spread in all directions with the trend of spreading, and it only swept the world in an instant. Perhaps sensing the terrifying threat posed by this fist, Haz secretly clenched his fist, the force of the law of gravity surged frantically under the mobilization of his mind, and a strong purple chi burst out from his body. Chapter 205 One Punch Breaks the Star. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Super Haz, who could not control his body, smashed directly on the ground like a super huge meteor. The deafening roar of boom was heard incessantly. In an instant, the entire planet began to shake violently. The ground beneath him collapsed in an instant, and countless cracks filled the air. The terrifying impact swept across the world at an extremely astonishing speed. If this planet hadn't been huge and hard enough to be the main place for battle, it would have destroyed the entire planet as early as the moment the aftermath poured out. Just an understatement of the power of one punch, this can devour the seed of universe, the self-proclaimed ultimate godslayer's Super Haz suppression, and the horror of Bergette can be seen. Jiren, who had removed all the shock waves, was even more stunned, and a large amount of cold sweat fell on his forehead. Just now, he heard the light and cloudless word that came out of Bergette's mouth. Pole. What exactly does this word represent? Why does it make him feel a sense of distance from his heart? That absorbed the seed of universe, the energy in the body is enough to be comparable to the Super Haz of the entire universe, and it was suppressed by Bergette's punch and word. You must know that Super Haz, who is the ultimate god killer, is so powerful that they are far away. The strength of the other party has surpassed gods of destruction. It even reached the level of approaching Angel. Back then, Bergette was at a disadvantage in the face of Angel Martino, who had not yet fallen, but in just a few months, the gap had become so big that it was comparable to the ultimate godslayer of Angel Martino, who had not fallen. Katakana middle. Super Haze, crushed by an understated blow, and even nearly killed. In the void, Bergette blew into her smoking fist, dispelling the smoke. That guy should not die so easily. Bergette mused in her heart. What kind of magical effect the seed of universe contains, even he doesn't know too much. This thing, Bergette only knew, was the key item needed to create one. Single quote exclamation mark single quote. Just as Bergette pondered, the breath of Super Hazy resurfaced in Bergette's perception. Her eyes narrowed, Bergette turned her eyes, and her sharp eyes locked on the ruins filled with golden aura in the distance. Boom. The entire planet trembled again because of this terrifying aura, and in an instant, a terrifying golden beam of light suddenly rose from the ground, like a holy dawn, like the light of hope. What followed closely was a terrifying coercion comparable to the coming of a demon. Super Haz, who was punched deep into the ground by Bergette before, charged back in front of Bergette with a grim look on his face. Advertisement. Bastard. An angry roar resounded through the sky, and Super Haz's facial expression was cruel and ruthless like a demon. Now he has been beaten by Bergette's god-killing punch. Completely insane. He devoured the power of the seed of universe, and he has surpassed gods of destruction and even Angel. As strong as him, he could be injured by Bergette's devastating blow, and the injury was not light, which made him very angry, and twisted. After absorbing the seed of universe, he is so conceited that he doesn't take everything seriously, he doesn't even care about God. Now, with this power, he can be compared with the Supreme Grand Priest and Zeno. What is a mere Bergette? It's just that a slightly stronger Saiyan can hurt him. This strong contrast makes Super Haz unacceptable. Poor guy. Bergette just stared at the crazy Super Haz, with a look of disdain and pity. This guy is still living in a dream, living in the world he imagined. Zeno and Grand Priest, the two symbols of the world's top figures in Dragon Ball, can be compared with a mere universe. Having absorbed the seed of universe, you are powerful enough to surpass gods of destruction, even comparable to the lowest ranked angel. But in front of the truly powerful angel, they are nothing but ants that can be wiped out at the click of a finger. The furious Super Haz, after hearing Bergette's contemptuous words, became even more angry in his heart. Bergette, just a mere Saiyan, as only stronger, what qualifications can he have to deny what he has now? Bergette, what are you? Angry Super Haz total liberation of the seed energy of the universe. In an instant, the terrifying energy and aura skyrocketed, from the original 3 positives to a steady rise. His aura became more infiltrating, and his body swelled several times because of the overflowing energy. The combat power showed an explosive growth, and under the influence of the majestic energy of the universe, he had forgotten his true heart. Combat strength data is 3 positive. Combat strength value is 5 positive. Combat strength value is 8 positive. Combat strength value is 10 positive. Combat strength value is 15 positive. Combat strength value is 20 positive. Combat strength value is 30 positive. This exaggerated combat power has been directly increased by nearly 10 times. The breath of Super has spread throughout the 11th universe. With his rampage, at this moment, he also has a strong murderous intention to destroy everything. He raised his hand, and the light of the law of gravity floated in his palm. The huge law of gravity runs through the atmosphere of this planet and goes straight to the universe. Boom. Suddenly, a deafening roar came from the space, and the whole world seemed to be overturned. Lord Haz. U. Ragus, who had been avoiding the aftermath of the battle, had a terrified look in his eyes. The current Hazy, who has already ignored it, has completely lost his mind, and is like a madman who does not care about the lives of others. Even himself was included in the range of attack by this guy. I saw that in the outer part of the atmosphere, a supergiant 4-star that was comparable to the size of a planet and had a diameter of thousands of kilometers was attracted by the ability of Super Haz. Looking at the posture, it was going to smash everyone. Die. Advertisement. This is also Hatz's last game. He is angry, and now he just wants to destroy everything and get back all the dignity and face he lost before. That huge planet, under the blessing of the law of gravity, the destructive power is infinitely amplified, and once it hits this planet, it will explode. The entire planet, including the people above, will be reduced to powder. As this guy crazy, feeling the super meteorite full of deadly crises, Jiren showed a tricky look. The horror of this blow, he thought about letting himself resist it, but without exception, he couldn't stop it. Even if you risk your life and burn your life in exchange for strength, you can't win. Jiren's eyes fell on Bergette again. In his gaze, can this man really change everything? Can he stop such a terrifying blow? Now, standing above the void, Bergette raised her arrogant head and looked at the looming super giant meteor in the sky. That sense of tension, that sense of oppression, is indeed completely different from the most direct feeling of any previous battle. But, that's all, Bergette doesn't care about that at all. To him, this was just Super Haz's final counterattack before he died. Just a part of the power mobilized by the law of reality shattered this guy's self-confidence and strength in an instant, causing him to go mad and run wild. Even if he kills his partner, Laguz, at all costs, he will not hesitate. His goal has been achieved, and he has successfully fused with the seed of universe. He no longer needs anyone's assistance. This poor girl from the glass family has only been deceived by him from the beginning. Hazy, don't you still understand the gap between us? You presumptuously used the law of gravity to block the surrounding space, leaving me nowhere to hide, but, you think, with this level of attack, I need to hide? The voice fell, Bergette's fist clenched again, and the power surged frantically under his mind, converging on the fist. At the same time, his form has undergone tremendous changes. The state of Super Saiyan Dark Blue evolution, directly transformed to the third order full power of Super Saiyan Blue color. Once again, the combat power has been increased by 100 times, and Bergette's combat power data has been raised to the limit of 500 positive. His power overwhelmed Super Haz more than 10 times in an instant. The next second, his iron fist that ignited a dark blue aura, swung it out again, as simple, violent, and direct as ever. This time, he did not mobilize the power of the laws of reality, but relied on his purest violence and combat power. Beisheng level combat power is enough to make him despise everyone. The fist was clenched tightly, and a faint golden light condensed on the fist, forming a protective film around the infiltrating dark blue energy, which faintly caused the space to tremble. The power of this punch is strong enough to smash everything, even a planet is enough to be smashed. I don't believe it. Your fists are really invincible. Die under my power. Super Haz, who was desperate, roared hysterically. For some reason, it was expanding and shaking. It's ridiculous. Your self-righteous power is worthless in front of me. The confident Bergette increased the output of energy, and the violent shock wave turned into a sky-high blue beam of light and shot straight at the huge and incomparable meteor. Boom. The deafening roar resounded through the heavens and the earth, and the entire planet was shaking non-stop. The space was shaken by the aftermath of this blow. Advertisement. A large area of space vibrated, and countless cracks spread rapidly. The seemingly terrifying, indestructible supergiant meteorite swayed violently under the power of Bergette, spreading from the bottom to the whole body, and countless cracks were spreading rapidly. This. Impossible. How is this possible? Roaring loudly, Super Haz's eyes were about to pop out. This is all of him. The destructive blow of all his powers. So. I was smashed by this man, with one punch. Boom. Under Super Haz's terrified gaze, his 1,000-kilometer meteorite exploded on the spot, turned into rock fragments that filled the sky, and scattered down. This scene made everyone stunned. Super Haz was shocked. Ragus was terrified. Jiren was also stunned. Even Lord Grand Priest, who was watching the battle in the 11th universe from the Temple of Zeno, showed disbelief. The 12 angels were even more surprised and horrified by Bergette's incomparable strength. Note. Due to the fall of Angel Martinu of the 12th universe, the vacant seat of Angel of the 12th universe is now filled by Angel Myers, an intern of the 7th universe. Okay. It does not contain any law power, but the power of God and pure power have long been such a terrifying power. Looking at the 12 angels, no one can achieve this step. On the battlefield, Bergette maintained the posture of punching. At this moment, his eyes were firm and his expression indifferent, like an invincible god of war. The recovered Super Haz was soaked in cold sweat all over his body, and his body was shaking uncontrollably. An unprecedented emotion spread to my heart. It's been a long time. Dread. He finally understood why Champa gave up resistance before dying. Because. You can't win at all. Impossible. This kind of thing can't happen. I am invincible by absorbing the power of the seed of the universe. This is fake. Everything is fake. Die. You must die. Unwilling to accept the cruel truth, Super Haz kept roaring, and he had to erase the existence of Bergette. The small emerald green spheres surrounding him in all directions were driven and began to rotate at a high speed. Each of these spheres contains an extremely high amount of energy, and even only one sphere can suppress the powerhouse of the 11th dimension. Scary as they are, can these gadgets really work on Bergette? Super Haz doesn't care so much. He has lost his ability to judge, he just wants to erase the existence of Bergette to consolidate his position and cover up the fear in his heart. Now he looks like a jumping beam clown. Bergette also dismissed it. Only when you truly see how grand this vast world is, will you know that you who are in it are just an insignificant speck of dust in this vast world. Chapter 206 Haz dies, Black Bergette now. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. These 12 emerald green spheres are very similar to the Seeking Jade held by Uchiha Madara after becoming the 6 Path Immortals in the Naruto world. However, this thing is much more advanced than Chu Daoyu, and the energy contained in each emerald green ball is at the 11th dimensional level. The light-hearted suppression of gods of destruction is not worth mentioning at all. However, for Bergette, these little green beads are just normal toys. These little things may have a good effect on others, but for me, they are just toys that are difficult to grasp. Even if they can match the energy of the universe, they are not worth mentioning in front of me. The voice fell, and Bergette waved one hand, 12 green energy beads, which he held in the palm of his hand, and was restrained by the tyrannical external force, unable to move at all. The next second, Bergette's thoughts moved, and majestic energy burst out in an instant. The 12 green beads were completely shattered by Bergette's overwhelming force. This is all the means currently possessed by Super Haz, and now everything has been cracked by Bergette. How can he deal with it? Impossible. It's obvious that your essence has not changed, you are still only human. You have reached this step without the help of external force. This is impossible. This kind of thing is absolutely impossible to happen. You what the hell? What did you do? Super Haz gritted his teeth, a lot of bloodshot eyes appeared in his eyes, and now his beliefs and worldview have been completely shattered, making him unable to see hope. It's true that Bergette used the power of God, but he has not really transformed, and his essence is still immortal. The power of the god is so powerful that even he who claims to surpass Zeno and Grand Priest feels deep fear and helplessness. Suddenly, a mutation suddenly occurred, and behind Super Haz, the space suddenly distorted, and then, a black shadow appeared behind Super Haz unknowingly. However, with the current Super Haz, all attention is on Bergette. Where can he feel that there is an unidentified guy who came behind him without him noticing? Bergette's pupils shrank suddenly, her mouth widened, and an unbelievable look appeared on her face when she saw the person behind Hazy. This man, it's him. Lord Haz. Be careful. At this time, as a bystander, the ignorant girl abandoned by Haz, Ragus shouted to Haz to remind Haz. Nani. Haz, who had come to his senses, suddenly felt the presence of someone behind him, which made him startled, and hurriedly wanted to escape, but it was too late. PFF'd. A strong and powerful arm ruthlessly penetrated Super Haz's chest. This scene made everything stand still, and everything fell into dead silence. Super Has was so shocked that he couldn't speak. The pain that went straight to his soul spread to his whole body, almost instantly destroying his defense and strength collapse. I've been behind you for so long, and it's only now that I discovered my existence. What a disappointing mortal, a foolish ant. You despicable fellows are trying to control the power of the seed of the universe in vain. Come on. The man snorted coldly, and the next second overbearingly withdrew his bloody arm. At this moment, Super Has, as if some vital item had been taken away, his eyes were dull, his death aura pervaded, and his sacred golden aura disappeared in an instant. On his chest is the place where the seed of universe is stored, but now, the seed of universe has been taken away. The weightless Super Has turned into a waste and fell to the ground. His breath was constantly weakening, and he was on the verge of collapse. Impossible. My fate. It shouldn't be like this. Super Has understood that he was powerless now. Advertisement. The seed of universe was taken away, and his origin was destroyed. Although he can still breathe now, he can only survive for a while. Immediately, he will die. Lord Has. Ragus flew to Haz's side at this moment. Her worried eyes fell on Haz's body, and she was also using the unique healing ability of her glass family. However, it is of no use. If there is no original power, it is impossible to revive no matter how much energy is received. Don't waste strength. Has tried his best, exhausted his last breath, and told Lagus to stop her. Lord Has. Before Ragus finished speaking, the body of Has, who was healed by his glass power, turned into golden particles and dissipated in the space. There's nothing left. And that means, Hazy, dead on the spot. Has. Your lord. Ragus was still in shock, his pupils dilated, and his eyes were full of astonishment and shock. Has Hazy, who had promised to avenge her, just died. No one expected Haz's sudden death. After all, the difference between what will happen in the first second and the next second is too great, and it is difficult for people to return to their senses. The seed that swallowed up the universe is stronger than all gods of destruction, and even reached a level comparable to the lower rank. Angel's ultimate god killer, Super Has, died just like that. It's a bit too dramatic. At the same time, the culprit who killed Super Has also revealed his honor. This man has a body identical to Bergette's. However, the aura invisibly exuding from his body is extremely evil, just like the evil ghost crawling out of the abyss, which makes people reverent and fearful. Compared with the Bergette deity, they are two completely different extremes. He is also the real leader who slaughtered the Glass clan. Black Bergette. At this moment, Black Bergette focused on the seed of universe he took out from Super Hazy's body, and his eyes carefully looked at the seed of universe. So that's the case. I'm still curious, why do you have this kind of universe? It turned out to be the defective product that was eliminated at the beginning. Because Grand Priest didn't care too much, it was forgotten in a certain corner of the world. I didn't expect to be picked up by you. Black Bergette saw the origin of this universe seed at a glance. At the same time, he also used his own special ability to put away this seed of universe. Although this seed of universe is not too high among the qualities of seed of universe that he has recognized, at least it is an artifact that can create a world. It's always good to keep it. Black Bergette cheered up, with contemptuous eyes in her evil charm, contempt for all the creatures below. Jiren, Bergette and Ragus all came into his sight. Advertisement. One of them aroused his anger just by appearing. The heavy memories of the past reappeared in front of him. If it weren't for the appearance of the damned mortal Bergette, he is still the supreme angel. He will not fall at all, nor will he be expelled by the Grand Priest, and he can only fall into the dark world to survive. Everything is because of Bergette. However, he might have to thank Bergette. If it weren't for the fact that his body was destroyed last time, he might still be using that weak body. Now that he had a new body, he could clearly feel that the soul of the fallen angel merged with the body of the strongest mortal, resulting in a reaction that no one dared to imagine. Bebeth. He is much stronger than before. Now there is only one thought in his heart, to use his body to compete with the deity. See, who is in charge of the body will be stronger. The strongest warrior in the 11th universe, Jiren, is nothing to be afraid of. Bergette's eyes directly ignored Jiren, the strongest warrior in the 11th universe. In his eyes, he was so worthless. Value, and poses no threat in the slightest. When Jiren below heard the words, she just dared to be angry and did not dare to speak. He really wanted to make this nasty guy pay the price, but the terrifying coercion that came from the other side directly made him dissipate the thought of attacking. The next second, a purple energy ball, carrying unparalleled terrifying power, pierced through the space, and the speed was so fast that no one except Bergette could react. Bergette, my target person, the battle between us is about to begin. With a cold smile, Black Bergette looked down at the Bergette who was guarding him. Raising her vigilance, Bergette turned around and performed the flying technique, and the real person slowly floated towards the air. Just when Bergette was about to speak out, Ragus, the survivor of the Glass family who had been silent for a long time, had a gloomy face, and at the same time, a strong ice blue aura emerged from his body. Black Bergette was attracted by the rising aura, but when he noticed who the owner of the aura was, the expression on his face immediately became disdainful and contemptuous. Hearing this, the dark-faced Ragus didn't react at all. Now, he seems to have turned black, with a scorching and intense revenge light in his eyes. This woman who has never killed anyone in her life, this for a moment, as if to completely fall into the devil's way, it turned black. Bergette stopped in front of Laguz at some point, offsetting most of the blast. I thought who dared to resist me, it turned out to be a survivor of the Glass clan. In order to sacrifice that lord with your blood and life, I had to slaughter all of you. It is the survivor of the Glass clan. It's a pity that I finally survived. As he spoke, a fierce murderous intent appeared in Bergette's eyes. That black Bergette's combat power, even she can't see through it. Bergette has a hunch that the opponent's true combat power is definitely not under her. Reckless attack will only make oneself end up in a life-threatening situation. A strong black evil aura emerged from the whole body, and the moment this aura emerged, Bergette's eyelids twitched. Advertisement. However, it doesn't matter anymore, the life of this Glass family survivor, whether he takes it or not, doesn't matter much. The fallen angel Martino who died at his hands. Boom. With a loud noise, the energy caused a deafening roar, and a huge mushroom cloud rose from the ground. Just the shock wave of the explosion has such a terrifying power. It is conceivable that people who were hit head-on at the center of the explosion. That is the goal of this operation. However, the small part of the shock wave that was scattered still traumatized Ragus. Are you hating that you don't have enough strength to take revenge? Hee. Since you feel that your strength is not enough, then go and become stronger, and don't get in the way of me here. With that, Bergette aimed at Ragus with one hand, used the power of space law to wrap the other party and send it to a safe area. Quote. It just so happened that his body had all the data about Bergette entered by Fu. Now he has mastered everything about the deity, plus the ability he can master with this body, even if it is stronger than the deity, he will never see it. Fear. The purple energy ball headed straight for Ragus. He knew the true identity of this black Bergette. This air, he felt it. The gap between them is really too big. Here, after all, it is too dangerous. The almost blackened Ragus was transported to another dimension by Bergette for such unknown reasons. I've finally waited for this moment. Since that day, I've been looking forward to the day I will fight with you, Bergette-san. A cruel and bloodthirsty smile appeared on Bergette's face, and the excitement in his heart stimulated his body. The Saiyan bloodline made him enter a strange state of excitement. Blocked. Black Bergette had a puzzled look on his face, he didn't understand why Bergette wanted to save the Glass survivor. Since the strength is not enough, just go to the side and watch, don't bother me here. Bergette said to Ragus in a very cold tone. When this evil spirit emerged, Bergette understood who this person really was. 10 seconds passed, and the aftermath of the explosion slowly dissipated. Jiren resisted the impact of the explosion, but was also knocked back 100 meters away. This is definitely not the breath of a mortal. It's not the breath of a god either. The breath of a fallen angel. So that's how it is, it's you, the clown who died in my hands, the body died, but the soul escaped the catastrophe, hum. Now it is making a comeback but using the body of a mortal that I despise. Your shamelessness is beyond my imagination. The dignified look on Bergette's face turned into drama. Chapter 207 True and False, Super Saiyan Purple. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Smart. When his identity was revealed, Bergette didn't panic at all, and even this saved him the effort to introduce himself. Sure enough, it's you. Martino. Seeing the enemy again, Bergette's eyes were filled with fierce and ferocious killing intent. The majestic divine power in his body poured out from his body, and the terrifying divine pressure descended on the 11th universe, causing the universe to shake, but the fallen angel Martino, who was in front of Bergette, didn't show the slightest hint. Don't care, as if ignoring this vast and boundless god's coercion. You guessed the identity correctly, and it saves me from introducing myself. As you can see, I am resurrected. I have become stronger. I abandoned the original weak body and chose your body as a human being, you should feel honored. It is your honor to be chosen by the supreme fallen angel. Black Bergette smiled indifferently in the same place. He is shameless, but he refreshed Bergette's view of the fallen angel. In the original work, in the 7th universe, Son Goku's body was taken away, so the character of Black Goku was born. It's just that the strength of the person who took Son Goku's body was not strong, and at best it was just a humble Supreme Kai. Now, the same thing happens to Bergette. It's just that the person who took away Bergette's body was not the trash-like Supreme Kai, but a fallen angel who was above gods of destruction, and fell into darkness after he was willing to fall. Is this your last word? Then you can die. The cold words fell, and the boundless murderous intent flashed in Bergette's eyes. The power of the law of space was used by him, and all the surrounding space was completely blocked at this moment. At the same time, the power of the gods has become extremely terrifying under the brewing of the laws of reality. Destroy. Said, the dark blue arrogance on Bergette's fist became more and more rich and terrifying. The law of reality can materialize everything Bergette has in mind. At this moment, Bergette imitated her tens of thousands of Xeon strikes in her brain, and superimposed all these attacks together. 13-dimensional powerhouses must stay out of the way. However, Bergette's attack was enough to penetrate everything, but it was not seen by Black Bergette at all. He doesn't even care. This is a terrifying aura. The power of the law of reality is very useful, right? It can replace the virtual and the real, and the fist that flashes with blue light is probably not as simple as an ordinary punch. Hey, Bergette's eyes narrowed. Squinting, he seemed to sense a dangerous aura from this devastating blow. This move can threaten him. Death. Bergette, who didn't want to say more, attacked with high killing intent. A loud bang of boom, a deafening roar lingered in the space, and the whole world was subverted and swayed. In an instant, the climate of the fighting planet was greatly affected, and it became dark and thunderous. A terrifying scene appeared in the void. At this moment, above the sky, an abyss with a diameter of a full kilometer appeared, and the countless dark purple thunderbolts inside were like poisonous snakes. Even the space barrier, no, even the world barrier was blown up by this devastating blow. At the end of this dark world, no one knows what kind of place is connected. Is it the past, or the future? Advertisement. Is it some other parallel plane, or somewhere outside the world of Dragon Ball? No one knows the answer. Because no one has crossed this barrier, no one dares to try it lightly. This is not just a punch, but under the reinforcement of the laws of reality, this lighthearted blow has been multiplied 10,000 times. It is precisely because of this that he possesses such terrifying power, the power to penetrate the world barrier. However, Bergette, who wielded this devastating blow, did not let up. In his perception, an evil spirit that makes people feel ominous and fearful from the heart is expanding at an alarming rate. This power, it's not as simple as I thought. This guy dared to use my body to appear in front of me, he must have mastered a lot of abilities and combat power. However, the real power of my body is not your kind of thing can play out. Close black lens bracket mentioning a few words in his heart, Bergette's eyes suddenly became sharp. His eyes looked towards a space on the left. Quote, that ominous premonition and the energy that made people feel uncomfortable all came from behind that space. Ong. In an instant, purple light emerged, and the power of space law was mobilized to form a vortex. Black Bergette appeared in Bergette's sight with a new attitude. In terms of momentum, this guy is no less than Bergette, who is the third order peak of Super Saiyan Blue, and even surpasses Bergette himself. The purple waist-length hair looks even more sinister and intriguing against the dark background. The pupils turned black and purple, the brow bones were lowered, the eyebrows disappeared, and a wicked smile appeared on Hey Bergette's face. His evil spirit, strange and unpredictable evil spirit, spread throughout the world. At this moment, the temperature of the space dropped sharply, and it just dropped to below zero in a blink of an eye. In this strange state, even Bergette felt extremely troublesome when she saw it herself. The third level of Super Saiyan in the realm of the gods. Bergette recognized Black Bergette's transformation at a glance, belonging to an alternative variant. It is the same type of transformation as his Super Saiyan Blue Color 3, but the color is different. Saiyan uses the power of the gods, which is fiery red at first, and then turns blue after metamorphosis. And if God uses Saiyan's body to sublimate again, the color of God's power is pink, which is the so-called pink. But Angel is different, their existence is far more advanced than gods of destruction, Supreme Kai and other life forms. Especially Angel after the fall. After possessing Saiyan's body, the power used will also lead to the difference in color according to his mind and the power of the source. This weird purple color is the representative of the original power of fallen Angel. Yes, this is the third level of Super Saiyan in the realm of the gods. If you name it according to your taste, it's called Super Saiyan Purple and Purple third level. Black Bergette triumphantly he smiled, as if showing his perfect body for Bergette. Advertisement. He's showing off to Bergette, and he's sending a message. Your body, in my hands, has played a more dazzling light than before. As a mortal, you should be deeply honored. Super Saiyan Zhong Ziwu. Really, I don't know how to make a good evaluation. With a helpless smile, Bergette felt extremely difficult about the strange new form. The power of the madman in front of him is even stronger than he thought. It is just a transformation in the same state, and his aura and combat power are stronger than the current him. But these are all irrelevant, no color is meaningful, only the power of absolute strength can symbolize everything. I don't care what your form name is, you must die here today, not only to avenge the original revenge, but also to seek justice for those souls who were killed by you. During this time, I have been reciting some inexplicable black pot. Saying that, the dark blue arrogance around Bergette became more intense and infiltrating, and his energy also ushered in transformation at this moment. Single quote exclamation mark single quote. The waist-length dark blue hair suddenly burst into a dazzling ray of light, and in the next second, the majestic energy was liberated from the inside of his body, and a deeper divine power was liberated. The dark blue energy beam soaring into the sky seemed to reflect everything in this world, and the power radiated invisibly made Hey Bergette back 10 meters away. Feeling the strength of this divine power, Hey Bergette not only had no fear, but the smile on his face became more and more crazy and unscrupulous. What he wants is this effect. The stronger the deity's strength, the more beneficial it is to him. Using other people's bodies to challenge the deity, showing a higher level and combat power than the deity, this is what Black Bergette wants to tell Bergette deity. He must be stronger than you. Single quote exclamation mark single quote. The dark blue light shrank, Bergette's form did not change much, but his hair color, at this moment, became as dazzling and bright as a dark blue gem. Katakana middle dot katakana middle dot katakana middle dot katakana middle dot seeking flowers. Although I know that this is not Bergette's ultimate state and strongest strength, but in the same realm, the oppression and tension that the opponent gives him is extraordinary. The laws of space were displayed, and in a blink of an eye, Black Bergette escaped into the starry sky and disappeared without a trace. It's not a good thing to rely too much on the power of the laws of reality. Do you really think that you can do anything after mastering the power of reality? Compared with that person, your laws are still lacking too much. Black Bergette smiled smugly. There has not been much change in the form, but the color of the hair has become deeper, just like the dazzling purple glow in the dark night. Bergette's vigilance was heightened in an all-round way, her body's muscle cells were highly tense, and she did not dare to relax in the slightest. His waist-reaching purple hair was even more gloomy. Woo! A dark blue streamer appeared in the universe space. He folded his arms around his chest with a relaxed look on his face. Advertisement. In the next second, the countless black-purple energy spheres attacked Bergette from multiple different positions. The power of each energy sphere was enough to crush a superhas to death in an instant. However, these energy balls broke through the shackles of Bergette's law of reality after a stalemate for about 3 seconds. The intensity of aura opened the gap in an instant, and the intensity of Black Bergette's divine aura was obviously higher than that of Bergette's deity. Black Bergette opened her arms and enjoyed the transformation of the divine power within her body. Black Bergette's eyes were full of fighting intent, and he had been looking forward to this battle for too long. Single quote comma 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 exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark single quote. Let me see the power of Saiyan Bergette, known as the strongest warrior. The voice fell, and Black Bergette took the initiative to attack. Black Bergette easily blocked this sneak attack, and the smile on his face became more unbridled, crazy and expectant. This is mine, Super Saiyan Crimson Purple Tier 3 Boundary Breakthrough. Black Bergette said with a proud wicked smile. An aura that makes others feel ominous and fearful from the depths of their souls is rapidly expanding at this moment. Bergette and Black Bergette continued to rise, and finally broke through the atmosphere of the planet and came to the vast starry world. Bergette threw a powerful punch, hitting Black Bergette in the face. The collision of two strange evil chi seemed to distort the surrounding space, turning it into something that no one could imagine. There was a strange ripple in the space again, and Black Bergette appeared in the void. Sure, Bergette didn't dare to think too much. The power of the law of reality was used by him. After he said it, the whole world stopped as if it was affected, frozen in the void. There was a muffled sound of bang. However, at a moment when Black Bergette didn't notice it, Bergette's deity crossed the space and appeared behind him intact. You have a lot of nonsense. A faint voice lingered in Bergette's ears. The limit of Super Saiyan blue color of God realm. At the same time, the form is no longer the general Super Saiyan blue color third order, but the Super Saiyan blue color third order boundary breakthrough. Boom. The dazzling firelight bloomed in the universe space, and the shock wave visible to the naked eye spread rapidly, and all the matter in the vast starry sky was destroyed into nothingness in just a blink of an eye. Nani! Exclaimed in shock, Bergette didn't have time to think, she could only mobilize energy in a hurry to form an indestructible energy barrier. Come on. Give me more fun. With a roar, Black Bergette's counterattack began. People. It's very strong energy, but, have you forgotten, now I'm Bergette too, you will, I not only can, but also perform better. 35 After the voice fell, the purple evil spirit around Bergette was further swept away. Purify, transform. Feeling the weight from the palm of his hand, he was even more pleasantly surprised. His combat power has increased to more than 10 times that of the previous one. Chapter 208 Sadness and Despair, more perfect than the deity. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Hand-to-hand combat, imminent. Black Bergette poured everything she had learned on Bergette. Using the limbs together, a strange fighting method emerged. In an instant, countless dense attacks poured down towards Bergette's body like a hurricane. The hot war is also imminent at this moment. Bergette's deity was caught off guard by this sudden counterattack, and for a while he fell into a disadvantage and was forced to defend. Bang, pound, 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 bang, pound. The collision became more and more intense, and the powers of Black Bergette and Bergette's deity were all at the level of extinction. As the main battlefield, the 11th universe is shaking at this moment. If it wasn't for the fact that both of them had extremely perfect control over their power, I'm afraid this 11th universe would have been destroyed as early as the moment the war started. In just a few seconds, between Bergette and Black Bergette, no less than hundreds of tricks have been taught. The speed of the collision between the two became faster and faster, and at the same time, it became more and more fierce and fierce. The attacking style of the two men is almost the same, only Black Bergette has changed on this basis. In the face of all Bergette's attacks, Black Bergette can handle it with ease and do whatever he wants. The terrifying combat power of Super Saiyan's third order purple and boundary breakthrough has reached its peak at this moment. It is also the third order Super 227 Saiyan in the realm of God, but it is third than the Super Saiyan blue color of the Bergette deity. The stability and strength brought by the breakthrough of steps and boundaries is even better. This is thanks to the soul of angel who has purified this divine power, showing extraordinary energy on the body of a mortal. This guy's fists are getting faster and faster. And he seems to see through all my actions. All of them are dodged by him. Such a tough opponent made Bergette secretly feel bad. Black Bergette, this monster, is far more powerful than he imagined. This guy seems to have seen through everything about himself. No matter what kind of offensive, he can easily defuse it. Looking at him like this, it doesn't seem like Ultra Instinct made a temporary judgment. Instead, he had expected it at this moment. All the attacks were all in his prediction, and there was nowhere to hide. What's the matter? Is your strength only at this level? Hey, Bergette roared, his fists clenched in an instant, the blue veins clearly visible when jumping, and the generally deep and incomparable energy light gather at the top of the fist. Boom. The devastating punch caused the universe space to be turbulent, and the boundless power directly attacked Bergette's face. At the critical moment, Bergette clasped her hands together and protected her in front of her, and her whole body's divine power was pulled to form an indestructible defense. Advertisement. Crack. The strength of this fist was beyond imagination. In just 3 seconds, the barrier of Bergette's whole body's strength was damaged by 70%. He himself, because of this incomparably powerful aftermath, flew upside down tens of thousands of meters away. Crackling. The surrounding space collapsed and ruptured, and countless cracks visible to the naked eye spread. This devastating blow also shattered the barrier of the Dragonball world and ripped apart the interface with other worlds. Flying upside down, Bergette subtly unleashed the pounding power, quickly rushed to take control of her body, and stabilized in the void. On both arms, a shocking scar is clearly visible. A long bloodstain appeared, and at the wound, a purple light appeared, constantly burrowing into Bergette's flesh and blood, torturing Bergette's body. My hands can't move. Bergette paled in shock when she realized she couldn't control the movement of her hands. Hey, Bergette's source energy is stimulating the muscles of his arms, and the energy is constantly invading deeply. After receiving this punch, his arms are almost crippled. But fortunately there is no problem. Using the divine power in his body to forcibly expel this strange divine power, Bergette's situation was well prepared. However, the heart-piercing sting was as unbearable as being bitten by countless ants. The law of reality operates, the wound disappears without a trace, and all wounds are healed. Returning to her peak state, Bergette's eyes looking beyond the starry sky became solemn. The power of this punch really made him suffer, and he also had a certain understanding of the strength of the counterfeit Black Bergette. Although he did not use his full strength, he was just testing the opponent, but it is undeniable that under the transformation of the same level, Black Bergette's fighting power is better than him. Single quote comma comma exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark single quote. In the space not far in front of him, a purple vortex appeared again, and Hey Bergette flew out of it. He folded his arms around his chest, with a confident smile on his face. His eyes were more like a hunter looking at his prey. Very uncomfortable. How do you feel? Your body, in the hands of others, has exerted far more fighting power than the deity. Black Bergette wanted to know Bergette's heart activities. The more shocked and frightened the other party, the happier he was. Pretentious lowly ants, take a good look at the difference between you and angel. Fighting power far beyond the deity. Are you joking? Disdainful of Hey Bergette's words, a gleam appeared in Bergette's eyes, and at the same time, her aura became fierce. I admit, I really underestimated you before. I didn't expect to be able to use my body to this level, but you are not Saiyan after all. Saiyan's power and the mystery of blood, how can someone like you be able to touch? Don't sully the cells of our Saiyan clan. Asshole. 35 Bergette's eyes flashed fierce killing intent, and those dark blue eyes stared at Black Bergette. Advertisement. Now that the opponent can use his body to such a level of combat effectiveness, it is indeed no trivial matter, but Bergette is not happy at all, and even feels deeply ashamed. This guy has tarnished his Saiyan's noble blood and shamed the dignity of the fighting nation. Although it is Angel's soul, the things mastered by his own body cannot be learned by everyone. Rather than saying that the Black Bergette in front of him is another self reflected in the mirror, it is better to say that this guy is a fake wearing his own body. What Saiyan's arrogance and dignity or something, it's all boring. In this world the strong eat the weak, Bergette. Say your last words, maybe I'll mercifully leave you a whole corpse. Black Bergette smiled confidently and slyly. This may be. You are just a mere fake in the end. The noble blood power of my Saiyan clan is not something that a clown like you can touch. His eyes narrowed, and Bergette mobilized a deeper inside. The energy of the layer, the power of the bloodline that was sleeping in the body was suddenly activated. Boom. In the universe space, a dazzling, divinely brilliant white light suddenly bloomed, illuminating the boundless darkness in this galaxy and sea. An ancient coercion emerged from within Bergette's body, and Saiyan's wild power and bloodline power were unleashed at this moment. This is Bergette's bloodline power, Super Saiyan Tier 5. As before, the bloodline power of Super Saiyan 5th tier and the Super Saiyan Blue 3rd tier, the power of God that breaks the boundary perfectly fuse, forming a new state. When the white light that ran through the universe dissipated, Bergette stood in the void with a new attitude. At this moment, his aura was different from before. It has the holiness of gods, inviolability and unfathomableness, as well as the barbarism and the purest coercion of mortals. This is Super Saiyan Katakana Middle Dot Fusion Sublimation State. A state born after the transformation of Bergette's strongest mortal power and divine power. The perfect fusion of Super Saiyan 5th stage and Super Saiyan blue color boundary breaking. At the beginning, I let you get away with a life in the boundless world, and now, I will completely smash your bones and break your soul. 39 Bergette, whose aura intensity is completely different from before, has killing intent and determination, unprecedented determination. It's been a long time. This state, I think you used this state when you challenged me without knowing how to live or die. It's also good. The hatred from the beginning. Let's settle it together today. Eyes condensed. Hey Bergette, the same as to stimulate the power of the blood in the body. Whoa. In an instant, a deep and evil blood-colored aura emerged from his body. Such an extremely evil atmosphere surprised Bergette, because this power is indeed the power of Saiyan's blood, but, it is fundamentally different and different from the 5th level of Super Saiyan. This power, is it the power of blood, or is it the power of an evil heart? Bergette couldn't help thinking to herself. He knew the power of Saiyan's evil heart, and he had used it, but that power was not as exaggerated as it is now. At the same time, a terrifying feeling came from the blood in his body, as if he felt the birth of a certain natural enemy. Advertisement. This strange blood power made Bergette feel an indescribable feeling in her heart, like Champa's mutated Super Saiyan 5th order, but it was more sinister and thorough than the mutated Super Saiyan 5th order. Black Bergette, who was in the transformation stage, felt the power of rolling and boiling in her body, and she felt an indescribable joy in her heart. It was indeed the right choice to cooperate with Fair, who collected all the data about Bergette for him. Originally, he didn't know anything about Saiyan's bloodline power, and he didn't know how to activate it. After entering all the data Fao had collected about Bergette, these problems were all solved. He also evoked the ancient ferocity that slumbered in Saiyan's blood. Bergette, I said long before the battle, you will, I will, you won't, and I will too. With a roar, Black Bergette ushered in his transformation and sublimation. Super Saiyan Fusion Sublimation Status. As a fallen angel, his unique power of a strange god merged with the power of the Saiyan bloodline, which was influenced by the power of his soul and mutated. This is an alternative fusion sublimation state. The two waves crossed the peak of the 12th dimension, and fell steadily into the energy of the 13th dimension, constantly lacing and bursting. Bergette and Black Bergette are both proper 13th level powerhouses. The strength of these two people has steadily surpassed gods of destruction, and even reached a level comparable to that of the upper angel. How does it feel? Your body has reached an unparalleled height on me. You should be honored to be chosen by me as a fallen angel, which is enough to prove that I value you. Black Bergette opened her arms, a gloomy and weird smile appeared on his face. Such actions made Bergette's distaste for this guy even deeper. Fallen angel Martinu. No, it should be said that Black Bergette, this guy, is more nauseating and disgusting than Zamasu who took Son Goku's body. HMPH. You are so hot. Bergette gritted her teeth, clenched her fists, and was ready to go. Ha 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 ha. I just like to see your angry look. The same body has reached a higher level in someone else's body, isn't it very uncomfortable? But it doesn't matter. The battle will become more intense. As the deity, you must not die in the hands of a fake like me so easily. The roar fell, and the evil spirit around Black Bergette skyrocketed, burst out in an instant. Single quote comma 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 exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. Almost in an instant, the space collapsed, and Black Bergette, carrying a ferocious power at an extremely alarming speed, slayed in front of Bergette. The heavy blow filled with boundless evil was superimposed hundreds of thousands of times under the power of his strange law, and its power was enough to shatter the entire universe. Not to be outdone, Bergette condenses the energy of the whole body, stacks it at the fastest speed in a short period of time, accumulates power, and finally throws a punch. Boom. In the center of the universe, a purple light blooms, followed by the energy storm that is enough to destroy everything, sweeping in all directions at the speed of light. Chapter 209 Similarity, 95%. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Under the devastating aftermath of this collision, Bergette and Black Bergette's hot battle began. Both sides shuttled through the universe space at an astonishing speed. The dark blue light and the purple with a hint of dark red light formed a sharp contrast. Wherever they went, no armor was left. Two lights that exceed the speed of light, rampage in the universe, representing Bergette and Black Bergette respectively. In just a few seconds, the two sides fought fiercely for hundreds of tricks. Bergette seized the flaws made by Black Bergette in the attack, and threw a devastating punch. That terrifying power of destruction that was enough to obliterate everything, pierced through the space and carried the power to shatter the stars, and slapped Hey Bergette in the face. This scene made Hey Bergette's pupils shrank suddenly, and a fatal sense of crisis emerged. His body instinctively defended, his arms crossed, and his breath condensed. Boom. A space shock. That intense, terrifying blow, enough to crush the entire world, brought endless destructive coercion like an exploding star, blooming on Black Bergette's body. The universe space fell apart in an instant because it couldn't withstand this overwhelming destructive force. The unstoppable shock wave turned into an invisible giant wave, sweeping away toward the depths of universe. Any matter that is affected, including an entire planet, will be annihilated into stones in an instant. Hey Bergette, who had withstood the devastating blow, was blasted 10,000 meters away. Forced violence to stabilize his body, Black Bergette wanted to act again, but was deeply shocked by the tingling sensation in his arms. It hurts. Not only shattered my energy, but also completely abolished my arms. You are indeed a threat that cannot be underestimated. The eyes narrowed, and the bloody light flashed in Hey Bergette's eyes. In the next second, a purple halo appeared on both arms, and the previously severely injured hands were restored to their original state by the 14 repairs of this power. Suddenly, there was a change in the space, and Bergette, who was 10,000 meters away, mobilized the power of the law of space to jump into space and teleported to Hey Bergette. Incomparably fierce killing intent bloomed from his eyes, and a strange fusion of white and dark blue flames burned above his fists. That's what fighting is called. Continue to please me. Black Bergette's eyes flashed with blood, and fierce fighting intent emerged from his eyes. Although he is a fallen angel himself, his body is Saiyan. Affected by the frenzy and agitation in Saiyan's blood, this guy has become extremely keen on crazy battles. Hot battle, imminent. Boom, boom, boom. The flames on the fists of the two bloomed in the depths of the universe, illuminating the boundless darkness, and the number of collisions continued to accelerate. Under the superposition of the power of space laws, the two people appeared like ghosts in any corner of the universe. The speed of the two is constantly accelerating, and the strength and speed of the attack are also becoming stronger and stronger. Crackling. Advertisement. In the huge crack that was blasted out and could not be repaired for the time being, there were terrifying arcs. The terrifying cracks in the world are constantly expanding, and the barriers between the 11th universe and other worlds are gradually collapsing due to the impact of power. In the boundless abyss, no one knows what it is, but at this moment, there seems to be movement in the calm abyss, and it begins to swallow everything with a huge gravitational force. But Bergette and Black Bergette didn't notice anything, and the two of them were engaged in a frenzied battle at the moment. After inputting the data of this deity, I really have mastered everything about him, whether it is fighting instinct or tactics, and any changes can be easily predicted. Black Bergette's inner activities are very rich at this moment. As he said before, Bergette would, and he got it all. Bergette won't, he's got it. There was no suspense in this battle from the beginning, and it was destined to be his victory. Suddenly, the two charged up again, and at the same time a burst of energy Keaton appeared in their palms, and they were projected towards each other. Bang! The energy bombs collided with each other and exploded violently in the void. Both Black Bergette and Bergette were blasted to a distance of 100 meters. With a wave of one hand, he dispelled the huge wave of flames, and a strange aura appeared around Black Bergette. Surprised, Bergette, I know everything you have, you won't, and I have everything. You will be very dissatisfied if you die at the hands of someone who is exactly like yourself, right? Evil smiled. Black Bergette raised her hand, and a faint purple halo appeared in her palm. Bergette, who was 10,000 meters away, shrank his pupils suddenly after seeing this scene. He was extremely familiar with what this trick was. Sudden storm. With a cold drink, countless dark purple coquettish chi shot out from Hey Bergette's palm, and directly crossed the space distance of 10,000 meters under the blessing of the power of space law, towards Bergette's body. In such a crisis situation, Bergette could only protect himself with both hands, and the energy exploded with his mobilization, forming an indestructible defense, destroying all the energy bombs that crossed the space. Has it been blocked? So, how should you deal with this move? Black Bergette looked at the Bergette deity whose rage was blocking the outpouring of energy, and a playful smile appeared on his face. He terminated the release of energy, and the next moment, his left hand was raised, his 5 fingers were bent, and the dark purple light was released in the palm of his hand. This action is exactly the same as when Bergette unleashes his nirvana. Have you even mastered this? Bergette himself was also nervous, and he was extremely familiar with what this trick was. His nirvana cut off the energy wave. Drink. An angry scream. Hey Bergette waved one hand, the dark purple energy light wave between the palms spewed out like a waterfall, and the space was distorted wherever it went. Locked Bergette's position, and hit him hard. Cut. What a troublesome guy. Bergette knows the horror of this trick, and must not let this thing explode in the universe. Otherwise, the 11th universe will disappear in an instant, knowing that the adjacent 12th universe will be implicated. Raising his hand, the power of the law of reality condensed and formed, turning into a black vortex in his palm. The nirvana released by Black Bergette cut off the energy wave and was swallowed by this black hole, leaving nothing left. Advertisement. Can it be done to this extent? Hey Bergette couldn't help frowning, feeling a little pressure after the nirvana was wiped out so easily. The laws of reality, the omnipotent ability, he knew very well. Once mastered, it meant that he was above the power of many laws. He just saw that it didn't take too long for Bergette to initially master this power, so he came to challenge Bergette with this body, wanting to kill this guy at the seedling stage. Otherwise, one day in the future, if the power of the law of reality is 100% mastered, it will be basically impossible to eradicate it at that time. You must know that, as strong as the fallen angel Gast is to rely on the powerful ability of the law of reality, this can be achieved with one enemy against 100, with one's own strength, against the 4 superior angels without falling behind. This time, Black Bergette did not continue to attack, but looked at Bergette's deity with vigilant eyes. That move just now consumes a lot of energy. He has to slow down. Bergette here. Dispersing the small vortex in her palm, Bergette breathed a sigh of relief. The display of the law of reality is a huge consumption of mental power. Generally, he will not use it easily. The law of reality has too high demands on the user's spirit and realm, not to mention that Bergette has not yet been able to master this power 100%. The more times he uses it, the more his mental oppression will be. Trouble. It seems that, as this guy said, this stolen body, at least, has more than 95% of my combat skills. Close black lens bracket. Recalling the scene of the collision just now, Bergette's brows shrank slightly, feeling a lot of pressure. Black Bergette can perfectly imitate his every move, and exert stronger power under the transformation of his own fallen angel. This battle is probably the most dangerous battle after being besieged by many fallen angels at the Power Conference. A little carelessness can lead to death. Have you figured out a countermeasure? If you don't attack, I will continue to attack. Black Bergette's voice, transmitted to Bergette's ears through the power of the law, contained obvious sarcasm. Humph. Want me to fight in your field of expertise? Don't underestimate me, you will, and I will too. I will never let the battle situation turn in your favor. Scarlet light flashed in his eyes. Black Bergette suddenly became angry, and a strange evil energy erupted from his body instantly. At the same time, the Temple of Zeno. But, now he can't stop Black Bergette's field release. Nani. The domain skills were forcibly interrupted, and Bergette showed an unbelievable look. Apparently, their gathering this time was due to the call of the Grand Priest. This powerful domain skill devoured and wrapped the two of them in an instant. At the same time, they also saw the battle that took place in the 11th universe. It's just that, Zeno-sama, who is a world consciousness, is resting, and no one dares to disturb him. Boom. Energy began to spread rapidly after rushing for several kilometers, spreading at an extremely astonishing speed, gradually covering Bergette and Black Bergette. Advertisement. As for why not send the gods of destruction too? If the 11th universe is destroyed, Master Zeno will blame him. Will his gods of destruction come to an end? Even if all the gods of destruction are together, they won't be supported for a long time, only a few seconds at most. The person who appeared in the 11th universe is the fallen angel Mardinu, yes, but only in the soul, but his body is a mortal body. It's more tricky than I thought. Let's continue in another place. With his eyes condensed, Bergette's whole body burst out, constantly gathering in the palm of his hand, forming a deep and strange space force. 230. As the Grand Priest, the supreme god of the Dragonball world, is watching what happens in the lower world through his own spiritual sense. The 11th universe, but the universe under his jurisdiction. However, the interest this time was completely different from before. Therefore, all of this can only be done by Bergette herself. Open black lens bracket. Since the Power Conference, you have become stronger than I expected, but this time the opponent you are facing is not simple. The soul of the fallen angel and the strongest human body have produced far more mutations than me. As expected, Bergette-san, this time, no one can help you. I hope you can solve this problem on your own. Close black lens bracket. Grand Priest used his spiritual sense to monitor the situation of the battle at all times, and said silently in his heart. At this moment, among the 12 gods of destruction present, Vermut, the 11th universe gods of destruction, was in a panic. The next second, Bergette waved her hand and shot this mysterious energy towards the starry sky. Black Bergette saw at a glance what Bergette's behavior was, and what this skill he was using. Unless, the rules can be changed, or the world consciousness agrees. No matter how many gods of destruction came, at best they were killed in seconds. To be honest, the appearance of the fallen angel should have been sent by him to destroy the angels. Suddenly these two monsters appeared, and anyone would feel uneasy. Angel and him, who are Grand Priest, can't shoot at will, because they are bound by rules. Black Bergette belongs to the most special group of existences. Even if they know that the other party is super strong and has the identity of a fallen angel, the angels couldn't make an official move either. Behind him are 12 angels and 12 gods of destruction. When he has reached this level, his state of mind cannot be changed with just a few words. Don't be ridiculous. Gods of Destruction's level of combat power is very powerful for most life forms in the universe, but not everyone is afraid, such as the current Bergette and Black Bergette. This two people are the existence of Tutuo beyond the realm of gods of destruction. But Bergette doesn't care about that. Domain skills. The energy of boom skyrocketed at an astonishing speed, and it also instantly dissipated, assimilated, and covered Bergette's domain energy. Probably not. Master Zeno is not such a rude master. Chapter 210 Triple Fusion Sublimation Status. Open black lens bracket. Subscription. Close black lens bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. At the same time, Bergette is in the position. After the domain energy skill was cracked by Black Bergette, he was engulfed by Black Bergette's domain skill. Now, Bergette is on the disadvantaged side, and he has been transferred to a world of complete darkness, a world of darkness that is very unfavorable for his actions, without any light. Bergette, who was always vigilant, suddenly looked towards the edge of the world in this field. The scene that caught his eye made him grit his teeth and clench his fists, raising his vigilance in an all-round way. I saw that at the end of this dark realm, the person who appeared was Black Bergette. I said, don't use your thoughts on dealing with those people in the past to deal with me. You are welcome to come to my domain world. Now, if you are not in your domain world, your advantages will be gone. With that lingering voice falling, Black Bergette suddenly disappeared at the end of this dark realm. His sudden disappearance made Bergette's heart tighten, and an ominous premonition appeared in her heart. This guy. Has even copied the domain skills. What a monster beyond imagination. Damn. Bergette didn't dare to relax at all, because now he is in the place where no one has the domain skills. Know what's going to happen in the next second. Domain skills are inherently suppressing the enemy to a certain extent, and also enhancing the domain master to a certain extent. Fighting in such a place is not good for him. Crackling. In this dark world, the red sky suddenly dropped countless blood-colored lightnings. The infiltration and horror level made people feel horrified, the whole body trembled, and fear came from the heart. There were bursts of subtle fluctuations from that terrifying space, as if it had been influenced by some kind of power. Suddenly, the voice of Black Bergette appeared in Bergette's mind. What's wrong? You seem to be very scared. Don't even I know where it is. Hey, Bergette's provocative voice lingered in Bergette's ears, and this remark made Bergette's pupils shrank suddenly, and his mind was full of relief. Trembling. Cells throughout the body are sending danger signals at the same time. The next second, he decisively clenched his fist and waved it towards a dark space behind him. A muffled sound of pound. Black Bergette's fist, carrying a terrifying impact that shatters everything, collided with Bergette's full-strength blow. Your reaction was quite quick, but it was a bit beyond my expectations. He narrowed his eyes slightly, and a playful smile appeared on Hey Bergette's face. Immediately afterwards, the body turned into a mist and dissipated in the dark world. When Bergette saw this, cold sweat fell on her forehead, and all the cells in her body entered a state of vigilance and combat readiness. In this case, a little careless, but it will really kill you. A thrilling sound of pound suddenly exploded. Advertisement. Just a moment of distraction. Hey Bergette's heavy punch silently landed on Bergette's face, the terrifying punch that was enough to subvert everything, even spread to Bergette's whole body in a blink of an eye, twisting his body. His face turned into a cannonball and shot out. Open black lens bracket. This move, is it a silent blow? Even this, he has learned. Close black lens bracket. Bergette was horrified. He didn't expect anything to happen at all, and his body didn't even send a signal of danger. The attack just silently landed on his face, causing him a huge trauma. You must know that this attack at the beginning was a blow that he tried so hard to find out. It took a lot of effort to perform, but this guy even showed the essence of this move. It can be seen that, in order to deal with him, how much effort was put into this body. Ha 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 ha. I was shocked by the silent blow that I was proud of, right? Don't be frightened. The things that make you fear are behind. I will do everything you can, and I will also do what you can't. Come on with your real skills, boring warm-up exercise, it's time to end. Hey. Bergette did not rush to attack this time, but waited quietly for Bergette's counterattack, looking at his confident appearance, as if he really had some incredible cards. He knew that Bergette still had one more transformation to show, but again, so did he. Bergette, who flew upside down, opened her hands, her 10 fingers clenched the space fiercely, and regained the lost control of her body. After stabilizing his body, cold sweat fell on his forehead and wiped off the blood stains from the corners of his mouth. He felt very troublesome at this moment. The power of this punch is so ruthless that even the creator, he felt extremely stinging after suffering this devastating blow. In the next second, the power of the law of reality surged in the body, his eyes narrowed, and the injury was completely repaired in an instant. There was a dangerous aura in his eyes, and the sleeping power in Bergette was awakened again. Single quote comma comma exclamation mark quote. A dark red aura gushed out from Bergette's body, perfectly blending with the power of the gods and the power of blood in her body. This power is derived from the power of the evil heart in Saiyan's heart, the power of Saiyan's heart. When this power is awakened, it also means that it is finally time for Bergette to show her true skills. A powerful force rioted in his body, 3 different energies blended together, and finally the fusion became one. Boom! A terrifying blood-colored light pierced through this dark domain world in an instant. At the same time, it is rapidly eroding and swallowing everything in this domain world. Hey Bergette, who was located 10,000 meters away, could not help shrinking his pupils after feeling this deadly sense of crisis and unimaginable power, and an unbelievable expression appeared on his face. This power, he is too familiar. At the beginning, Bergette awakened this power in a state of dying. Not only did he smash his body into ashes, but with the help of the 4 superior angels, he sneakily attacked the fallen angel gas and destroyed the opponent's body. Finally waited for this moment. I've always wanted revenge for this form of you. Bergette, fists clenched, Black Bergette recalled everything he had experienced, a majestic anger he had never seen before. It emerged in his heart, and at the same time, it also ignited the flame in his heart that yearned for revenge. He was angry, very angry. However, the anger quickly dissipated, and the winning smile appeared on his face again. Advertisement. In this state, Bergette can fuse 3 different energies for perfect sublimation, and make her powerful fighting power advance by leaps and bounds. However, he is also Bergette, not only mastering everything that the deity can use, but also the supreme fallen angel. In terms of strength of soul alone, he is far ahead of Bergette. The previous battle was just a fusion of the power of God and the power of this body's blood, and he had not yet used his original power. This is his original power as a fallen angel. And Bergette is just a transformation and sublimation that relies on the mere evil heart. How can it be compared with him? Single quote comma 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 exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark single quote. On the edge of the dark realm, Bergette's evolution has come to an end. His body was wrapped in a layer of dark red energy, forming a mass of spheres. Boom, 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 boom. The continuous heartbeats exploded in the space like bursts of muffled thunder. Each time the sound was louder and harsher. The billowing black mist assimilated half of the world in the dark realm. At the same time, the energy surrounding Bergette's body was also pulled by some mysterious force and turned into starlight particles scattered in the sky. The feeling of this kind of power rolling over and surging into the whole body made him feel very wonderful. At the same time, his form has changed. From the outside, Bergette looks like a beast awakened from the prehistoric period, violent, strong, and has an extremely ferocious atmosphere. The hair all over his body turned dark gray, and there was a faint blood-colored light. At this moment, Bergette finally showed his strongest state, his ultimate transformation, Super Saiyan Evil Eye Sublime. At the same time, his combat power value has also soared to a higher realm, in the midterm of the 14th dimension, even close to the peak of the 14th dimension. The coercion unleashed invisibly made the world of this dark realm shake, and the breath of death surged, fierce and infiltrating. Twisting her neck and moving her body, Bergette carefully sensed the power in her body that was capable of reversing time and space, creating and destroying. Under the blessing of the law of reality, although his combat power seems to be only in the middle stage of the 14th dimension on the surface, his strength has crossed the 14th dimension, and has even reached the level of entering the 4th dimension. The realm of 15 dimensions. Otherwise, how did Bergette at the time manage to kill the fallen angel Gas who was fighting for the 4 high-ranking angels with this attitude? Incarnated into the ultimate form, Bergette's eyes fell on Black Bergette. Originally, he thought that when he turned into this state, Bergette would be somewhat panicked, but after noticing the looming desire to fight and the invisible killing intent in the opponent's eyes, he became vigilant again. Advertisement. At the same time, he also had a guess in his heart. This guy, since he has his body, and in the face of this form, he seems calm. So, is there a possibility that this guy has also mastered his own supreme state? An ultimate form that is no less than his sublime state of evil self. Clap, 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 clap. In this dark world, a melodious applause suddenly sounded. The owner of this dark world, Bergette, was applauding at the moment, and a strange smile appeared on his face. You in this form can arouse my desire to fight. Speaking of which, it was in this form that I was beaten to death, and I almost didn't even have a soul left. The smile on his face became more and more, the fierce killing intent in Bergette's eyes became even more terrifying every time he uttered a word. Anger surged in his heart, his breath suddenly became strange, and a deeper and terrifying evil spirit gushed out from his body. When the power that did not belong to Saiyan was released, Bergette's eyelids jumped. His guess came true. You must have guessed. What kind of attitude will I take to deal with you next? 39's eyes shone with blood-colored light, and behind Black Bergette, a powerful and extremely evil soul force emerged. That twisted appearance was the face of fallen angel Martino. What I used to you just now was just a fusion sublimation state born from the combination of the power of God and your good body's original power. I haven't used my own power for a long time. The body that was beaten by you after the annihilation, there are 2 choices in front of me, let that adult give me a stronger body or my original body, I choose the former, and through the ability of that adult, you have obtained your body perfectly. Speaking of which, this is also my chance. This Saiyan body gave me a great surprise, and because of this, I am now officially starting my career into the ranks of the upper angel. The more Bergette went on, the more excited he became, as if he was now has broken through the shackles, completely entered a new ranks. Fusion of the power of Saiyan and the power of God, plus my own power, even if it is the upper angel, I am not afraid. Open your eyes. Look before you die. I use you. The body transcends all gestures. With a roar, the transformation of Black Bergette began. The fallen angel Martinu's soul power behind him, turned into a ball of energy, perfectly integrated into his body, blended with it, and completely merged into one. Crimson-purple radiance of divine power, blood-red radiance of bloodline power. And the power of the huge evil soul that is unique to the fallen angel. The 3 powers blend together, and the Black Bergette slowly rises. This dark realm world is windless and automatic, and the energy turns into a monstrous tornado that swept in, covering everything within 100 meters. This deadly sense of crisis, let people fear from the heart. The surging evil energy overwhelmed everything, and on the basis of the power of blood and the power of God, a second sublimation and transformation was carried out. Bergette, who was the closest, felt the overwhelming pressure, and her pupils shrank suddenly. Chapter 211. The matter is over, take the initiative to attack. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Feeling the evil spirit spreading from the inside out, Bergette cheered up, and at the same time Black Bergette entered his final stage. This is the evil transformation born after he fused 3 different powers, which is different from the sublimation state of Super Saiyan's evil self. This is another extreme transformation. Fusion of the absolute evil power of the fallen angel, and the power of God and the blood of Saiyan. In terms of momentum, it is not inferior to Bergette's Super Saiyan evil sublimation, and it is even vaguely stronger than Bergette's final form. I didn't expect you to do this. This power is more tricky than I thought. Muttering to himself, Bergette picked up her energy, and the energy in her body went crazy with his thoughts. Mobilization. With the blessing of the power of the law of reality, his apparent combat power can be sublimated to a higher realm, far ahead of the realm of the 14th dimension, and has successfully stepped into the boundary of the 15th dimension. However, only at this level, it still can't compare to the pure power of Black Bergette's evil and deeply rooted in people's hearts. Worship and praise, Saiyan, this is the ultimate I can achieve with your sinful body, and it is also the peak of your life. 35 Black Bergette stands in the void with a demonic posture. The strange evil spirit in him seems to be able to devour everything, and even Bergette's sublimated breath of evil can be swallowed up. Interesting. The same body, different strength, I would like to see whether you, the imposter, is stronger, or I will be stronger. Bergette felt the deadly threat. Instead of being timid, there was a burning desire to fight in his eyes. Time flies, and 3 days have passed in the blink of an eye. Of course, the time flow of the dark realm is different from that of the real world. 3 days and 3 nights outside is equivalent to 10 days and 10 nights inside, or even longer. The battle between Bergette and Black Bergette has finally come to an end. In the end, it was Bergette who was victorious, and the Black Bergette, who was a fake, also ushered in the end of demise. 230. Before he died, Bergette didn't understand why he lost. Obviously, in terms of combat power and other aspects, he was far ahead and ranked first. But the cruel fact is in front of him, he lost, and he lost miserably. Why? I don't understand. Why did I lead you so much and finally lost to you? I'm so unwilling. Bergette didn't want to die completely, he didn't want to die until he died. I understand why I lost to human beings. The mastery of the body is the same, and in the contest of soul power, he far surpassed the Bergette deity. Even Bergette has always relied on the laws of reality that make him invincible, and can be firmly suppressed in front of him. So, you are not my opponent, you who don't know Saiyan at all, how could you possibly win me? Ling Lai's killing intent flashed in his eyes, and Bergette smashed Bergette's body in an instant. Run through. At this moment, Black Bergette's soul was completely defeated by him. Advertisement. Wong. The Black Bergette, whose soul was scattered, turned into particles scattered in the sky and dissipated in the space. The battle was won by Bergette. Saiyan's body, only the real Saiyan can fully exert this power. For you, this body is just borrowed, and it is impossible to exert the full power of being a Saiyan. Don't sully Saiyan's blood, you shameless guy. With that, Bergette looked back proudly. With the death of Black Bergette, the dark realm also dissipated, turning into a sky full of stars scattered in space. He also finally returned to the real world. The state of Super Saiyan evil sublimation dissipated, and the fatigue and injuries all over her body almost made Bergette collapse. His body, for a long time, has not experienced fatal destruction like today, and has been reborn and transformed in countless collapses. Saiyan is a race that can grow in desperation. During the battle with Black Bergette, he does not know how many times he has grown and evolved, and the intense load that replaced it has almost completely collapsed his body. Bebef. Fortunately, he is still conscious, and the situation is not as bad as he imagined. Boom. Suddenly there was a roar in the void, and then the whole world was torn apart by a huge abyss crack. A familiar feeling appeared in Bergette's heart, and the next second, he was stunned for a second, and then he raised his head in disbelief. What caught my eye was the endless abyss. In the next second, a familiar feeling came to my mind again. Immediately afterwards, a scene that had happened during the power conference was repeated. The giant hand covering the sky, tore through the space, and attacked Bergette's body with a destructive force. Such mighty power made Bergette nervous, and she instantly determined who the owner of this giant hand was. The man behind the scenes who saved the soul of fallen angel Gas and fallen angel Martinu. No, the owner of this big hand is not the black hand who rescued the fallen angel Martinu, but Gas. The fallen angel Gas who was killed by him at the beginning. He did not die, he is still alive. Lord Gast. Hum. I knew that Lord Gast would not stand by. Bergette, you won this battle, but I won't die. With Lord Gast helping, you won't kill me here. At this moment, the soul body of the fallen angel Martinu emerges, and the sinister and cunning smile on his face is so proud. That arrogant expression seems to be saying to Bergette, come and kill me under the protection of Lord Garth, let me see if you can do it. Martinu's arrogant face caused Bergette to sneer. If I can smash your body to pieces before you are alive, will I be helpless to you as a soul body? Advertisement. It's really an ugly face. With a cold snort, Bergette's eyes narrowed. The power of the law of reality was used by him, and the soul of the fallen angel Martinu entered a state of silent dissipation. It turned into a nihilistic purple light that scattered in the space. However, just as the soul body of the fallen angel Martinu was about to dissipate, a strange scene happened. A force of reality law enough to confront him emerged, and the fallen angel Martinu, who was on the verge of collapse, emerged forcibly. Martinu's soul body was pulled back. Ha 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 ha. You know, you can't kill me. As a user of the law of reality, Lord Garth's attainment of the power of the law of reality is far beyond yours. Martinu screamed arrogantly. Such an arrogant attitude made Garth, who was controlling the unknown black hand, frown, and an ominous premonition was born in his heart. The huge black hand in the sky suddenly accelerated its action, breaking through the energy blockade between the space and Bergette in a split second, tightly holding onto the soul of fallen angel Martinu, and even trying to leave quickly. Do you think I'll let you go so easily? Don't think too beautiful. With a flame of light in his eyes, Bergette's thoughts moved, and the majestic energy blessed the power of the law of reality, forming enough to subvert everything beam of destruction. Whoa! A huge wave appeared in the space, and the destruction beam cut through the space and directly hit the giant hand of destruction above the sky, which was enough to crush everything. Just in a blink of an eye, the huge explosion was produced, and the terrifying power even blew up this giant black hand in an instant. As the owner of this giant hand, Garth in the dark world spit out a mouthful of black blood, his face turned pale, and the expression on his face became even more unbelievable and shocked. It's not the point that he's injured, the point is that Bergette actually wounded him. Logically speaking, something like this is absolutely impossible to happen. When he was in the realm of nowhere, the reason why he lost his life because of Bergette was because he was so concentrated in the face of many high-ranking angels at that time, he didn't realize that there was a Bergette behind him. The main reason for his defeat. Even Garth absolutely, if Bergette appeared in front of him again, he even had a 100% certainty that he could completely kill him. But it was this blow that changed his mind about Bergette. When did the power of the law of reality become so profound and powerful? The portal just now was exactly what he called it. Not only that, but he also used the power of the law to repair Bergette's body, removing most of the injuries on the other party's body. These cancers want to master the origin of the world and reshape a world. This kind of anti-sky move, no matter what, it is impossible for them to complete. And Bergette has finally reached a critical point. Temple of Zeno. This time, Grand Priest is really moving. Fallen angel, sooner or later I will kill all of you in person. Bergette said silently in her heart. After pondering for a moment, Grand Priest turned around and instructed the 12 angels and 12 gods of destruction to go to the conference room. I thought you were just a mere human being, but I didn't expect that you would grow to such a height in such a short period of time, but I underestimated you. Close black lens bracket. Bergette here. After several days of fighting, his physical and mental strength had already reached the limit, and the blow just now almost made him faint. Now, he might have fallen into a coma and couldn't wake up. Advertisement. He. I said, don't underestimate Saiyan. In your eyes, the fragile mortals are like ants, but their strength is enough to pose a fatal threat to you. The fallen angels. With a grin, Bergette, eyes looking at the huge black hand in the sky that has broken most of it. This farce, this battle, is over. These fallen angels have become too arrogant. Do you really think this world is under their control? Now Bergette has been transported to the 6th universe, his own home. At the same time, darkness swept in front of his eyes, and his body fell uncontrollably toward the depths of universe. It was a scene that happened at the Power Conference first, but now it happened in the 11th universe. There are some things that have been tolerated, but will make some ants confused about their position, thinking that God and angel will really accept their provocation and remain indifferent. Now, Grand Priest has many thoughts in his heart, and he is also preparing his next plan. After unleashing this devastating blow, Bergette's momentum gradually faded, and a bloodthirsty smile appeared on her face. At the same time, he now has an answer in his heart. For the dark world, he needs to plan from scratch. Bergette, in the future, I hope you can be my strong helper. Before that, I will use all the resources I can mobilize to assist you in your cultivation. Close black lens bracket. With a thought in his mind, Grand Priest's idea entered the mind of Bergette, who was rescued by him. Even he was injured. It is unknown when he will wake up. The blow just now not only shattered the huge black hand, but even completely destroyed the soul of fallen angel Martinu. Now, even with the blessing of the power of the law of reality, it is absolutely impossible for this fallen angel Martinu to be resurrected. Today's matter. This is the end of the day. We have fallen angel suffered a loss from you, and one day we will recover all of it. Bergette, you mortal, we remember. Close black lens bracket. Grand Priest knew that if they, the supreme gods, did not discuss and take the initiative to attack, they would become the laughingstock of others. As for why not get rid of them all, because those injuries, for Bergette, are only good, not bad. It seems that the confrontation between the two worlds is inevitable, and one day in the future, the real war is about to start. At the same time, behind him, a space tunnel opened by white energy also appeared. Bergette fell straight into it, and was teleported away from the 11th universe. As you use words fell, the huge vortex in the sky suddenly dissipated, and everything returned to calm again. This battle, he won. Everything that happened in the 11th universe fell into the eyes of the Grand Priest, whether it was the battle of the true and false Bergette, or the appearance of the fallen angels at the end. Chapter 212 World Fusion. End. Previous chapter. Advertisement. Time flies, and 20 years have passed in the blink of an eye. 20 years have passed since the end of the first battle between Bergette and Black Bergette. During these 20 years, universe seems to be calm, but the crisis behind it is surging, and there is a plan for the dark world that is about to begin. For 20 years, Bergette, since the war, has entered into a period of penance. Now, after 20 years, he has finally woken up. The combat power of the whole body increased at a terrifying speed, and it was strengthened to an extremely astonishing realm. Now, just being normal, he has come to the 15th dimension of terror. Now he, in a sense, has achieved true omnipotence. When the small world in the body is completely constructed, he has completed the transformation. Completely entered the world's highest level, combat power. It is located on one of the highest peaks in Sarada. Bergette stands here. His eyes are solemn, looking at the void, his eyes are full of solemnity and expectation. Just now, he received a message from the Grand Priest. After 20 years of plotting to attack the Dark World, it is finally about to start at this moment. The Grand Priest hopes that Bergette will also join the fight, and with the addition of this top fighting force, their universe's odds of winning will be greatly increased. After waiting for so long, I didn't expect that such a scene would finally be ushered in, joining forces with the gods to fight against the fallen angel. It's exactly what I want. Bergette is looking forward to the next battle, because, this day, he waited too long. 20 years ago, the humiliation he endured was all in his heart. For an existence like the fallen angel, after killing 1 or 2 times, he couldn't stop anymore. The pleasure of the enemy. Moreover, he seems to be able to meet different masters from the 12 universes. There are so many things that can be changed in 20 years. No matter what kind of existence, as long as it represents the strongest combat power in this universe, it has been invited by the Grand Priest to participate in this world-crossing battle, fighting. Bergette is looking forward to it. He is the representative of the 6th universe, so who are the representatives of other universes? As early as a long time ago, there were rumors in other universes that many warriors were at a level that was equal to Angel, but they never showed up, and they didn't care about the existence of the universe at all. After being dispatched by the Grand Priest this time, these warriors will agree to the dispatch of the Grand Priest for the sake of the angel's condescension and go to the Dark World together. Single quote comma comma exclamation mark single quote. Suddenly, where Bergette was located, a white portal was opened, and behind this portal was the final destination of their operation. Seeing this, Bergette retracted her thoughts, the corners of her mouth undulating slightly, and a wicked smile of anticipation appeared on her face. In the next second, he stepped into the portal without hesitation. Through the portal, Bergette crossed the universe, crossed the realm of the gods, and crossed a higher dimension, leading directly to a mysterious new world. Advertisement. Here is an endless dark world, and in front of it is a realm like the gate of the devil. Here is it. After seeing this scene, Bergette's pupils shrank. This place he had never seen before. There was no sign of any life breath at all. What greeted his eyes was death and dead silence. Bergette-san, you are finally here. At this moment, a call came from behind Bergette, which made Bergette stunned and turned her head immediately. What catches the eye is the Grand Priest, the 12 angels and the 12 gods of destruction, as well as characters representing the peak combat power in their universe. Among them, there are quite a few raw faces, people Bergette has never seen before. Just a glance at Bergette can tell that these people are extraordinary, very powerful, at least, they are all characters in the realm of angels, and their power is even beyond the 12 gods of destruction. It seems that this all-out attack organized by Grand Priest has really paid off. There is no need to say more. Grand Priest, what should we do next? Bergette went straight to the subject, her eyes fell on Grand Priest, waiting for Grand Priest's answer. After all, this attack was organized by Grand Priest, so he must have a plan. If there is no plan, who wants to come here to die? Moreover, Bergette could not believe that, as the supreme god in the Dragonball world, Lord Grand Priest, is a reckless man. After 5 minutes, Grand Priest stated all the plans for the operation. After getting everyone's approval, they hid their aura together and shuttled into the Devil's Gate. It's just that this action seems to be seamless, but in fact, it has been discovered as early as the moment they have not entered the Gate of the Devil. As the ruler of the Dark World, that adult has already noticed everything. He also issued his own orders, specifically instructing all his subordinates to deliberately avoid Bergette, so that Bergette could come to the deepest part of this dark world unimpeded along the way to meet him. All the fallen angels didn't understand, what was the real intention of this lord, why did he leave the supreme god Grand Priest alone, but let a Saiyan come to see him. However, as subordinates, they don't ask much. The thoughts of adults are not something that their mere subordinates can speculate. Bergette here. After entering the Devil's Gate, he entered a brand new world. Along the way, he acted cautiously, and he concealed his own breath, and he was constantly moving towards the depths of this world. This way, it was a little too smooth. It was so smooth that even he himself felt very strange. It seems that there is a strange conspiracy, and it has slowly started its own plan. However, Bergette didn't pay much attention to it. He traveled in the dark world, using the coordinates provided by the Grand Priest, and after a while, he came to the position of the adult. Originally, Grand Priest's plan was to release the power of coordinates after Bergette arrived, and all of them would be teleported to this place in an instant, hit Wonglong in an instant, and take down the ruler of this dark world. It's just that the moment Bergette arrived here, the power of coordinates collapsed, as if it was scattered by some mysterious power. Bergette was startled. He, who has always been extremely smart, was suddenly stunned. He understood that he had been fooled. This is a trap. Advertisement. Just when Bergette realized that the situation was not good and wanted to leave immediately, a sound from the void made him stop. I've come here, why don't you come in and meet this king? If you just let the guests go away, this is not how this king treats guests. There was a low voice in the void, making Bergette's face gradually change, become heavy. Now he was relieved, and everything suddenly became clear and clear. It turned out that since the moment they entered the Devil's Gate, all of them have entered the surveillance of this guy, but they don't know anything. This is clearly a gate of hell, and you can't rush in casually. To leave, or to go. Bergette chose the latter. Now that he was discovered, it was impossible for him to leave so unharmed. The other party invited him in. If he didn't go, wouldn't it make him weak and incompetent, timid and insignificant? Following the guidance of the voice, Bergette officially came to the deepest part of this dark world, where the adult was. Escape into the depths of darkness, before the throne. Bergette stared at the lord who was sitting on the throne in front of her. His intuition told him that this person was the mastermind who had appeared during the power conference. I've fulfilled your wish, I'm here. If I guess right, you should be the Lord Garth said, right? Bergette was not afraid at all, her eyes were full of dignified colors, his sharp eyes and the throne of the throne. The people above look at each other. He. The courage and courage are good, I am as expected of me in another world. The man on the throne said something that made Bergette feel incredible. Another world he. What's the meaning? Just when Bergette was puzzled, the adult on the throne walked out slowly, and when she saw this person's face, Bergette was shocked. This guy is exactly the same as himself, not only in appearance, but also in the intensity of breath. Another guy who stole my body, hum. A boring fake. 33 Seeing this exact same face, Bergette became angry and experienced the incident of Martino and the after the events of Black Bergette, he now scoffs at these beings who stole his own body. The invisible ants will only use some small means to show their strength, and their body has become a treasure in their eyes. Katakana middle dot katakana middle dot katakana middle dot katakana middle dot seeking flowers katakana middle dot katakana middle dot. Steal your body. No. I have never stolen anyone's body, didn't I say? I am you, you're, the other side. The existence that looked like Bergette smiled sullenly. His words also caused Bergette's doubts. Perhaps you will wonder why I let you simply enter this dark world to meet my eyes, because I want to make a break with myself. Everything has two sides. For example, when you cross to this the world has come to the positive world, then the dark world will inevitably breed a you, that is me. 55 As the words of another Bergette fell, Bergette herself showed an unbelievable look. What this guy said can't be false, it's true. He is really another self, not a so-called imposter. This is another traverser from the dark world. The two traversers are the same person. Okay, I've told you everything you want to know. Now, let it all end. Guide you here, I just want to make a break with you. Now, let's start. With an angry shout, the adult also showed his strongest form. The same body as Bergette, the same fighting power, the same transformation. Advertisement. That form is Super Saiyan Evil Sublimation, but it is a higher level Super Saiyan Evil Sublimation, and its combat power has stabilized at the peak of the terrifying 18th dimension. Point 0. Combat. Exactly the same unit as the Bergette at its peak. Evil Me Sublimation. This transformation you will also. It is still a higher level Evil Me Sublimation. It seems that what you say may not be a lie. I didn't expect that the master of this dark world is myself, facing the real me instead of the imposters. This battle may be more difficult than I imagined. Point, muttered to himself. Bergette liberates all the energy in the body, and also uses the transformation of the sublimation of evil spirits, and enters the second stage of Super Saiyan sublimation of evil spirits, and the combat power value also reaches the same 18th dimension peak. This battle is a battle of fate destined in the dark. The fateful battle between Bergette of the front plane and Bergette of the dark plane in the world of Dragon Ball. As soon as the two sides moved their thoughts, the power of the law was used by them. In just a moment, the plane of the entire dark world began to shake. This fateful battle between the two Bergettes lasted a full month, and this dark world became even more unsightly because of the confrontation between the two Bergettes. On the one hand, it is Bergette, and on the other hand, it is the confrontation between the fallen angels and the positive angels. The intensity of the battle can be said to be unprecedented and unprecedented. The two Bergettes, judged almost identical in every way, are super strong and impeccable at the same time. Looking at the two of them, it seemed that no matter how hard they fought, it was impossible to decide the winner. But there are always sudden changes at such times. The two Bergettes, at the same time in a truce, were full of confusion and puzzlement in their eyes. The battle was pointless from the start. They never had to kill anyone to prove they were the only Bergette. They are all one. Whether it is the positive world or the dark world, they are all destined to be one. Whether it is Bergette in the positive world or Bergette in the dark world, they are not complete people. Only through complete unification can they become complete bodies and restore their broken souls. Wong. In the center of the battlefield, Bergette of the positive world and Bergette of the dark world, their bodies shone at the same time. The two slowly approached, the body and the soul blended, and they were completely integrated to achieve a complete body and a complete soul. When the two are completely unified, the positive world and the dark world have also undergone earth-shaking changes. Originally, the gate of the devil that separated the two worlds suddenly disappeared, and the two worlds seemed to be linked by something, and they were completely merged into one world. Bergette, who is in the center of the light, doesn't know what she has accomplished. The same person in the two worlds, the fusion of one, also represents the fusion of the positive world and the dark world. Bergette became a complete self. This polarized Dragon Ball world, and therefore fusion, has completely turned into a complete world. End of the book, people.